Party people, what's going on? This is Samaj Marsh. I'm the founder of BlueDeathValley.com. I want to welcome everybody back to a somber edition of Blue Death After Dark. This is the aftermath of the Aggie Eagle debacle, fiasco, whatever you want to call it. 28-13 in the Queen City in front of nice crowd, over 35,000. Just like my man Miller Yoho was saying, we could expect. They got the whole lower bowl pretty much filled up. Awesome environment. That just the atmosphere was crazy, especially when everybody took out their little cell phones and lit the joint up. It was awesome. Shout out to the Charlotte Sports Foundation. A1 job, just a top shelf all around. Unfortunately, we did not hold up our end of the bargain and meet their organization with a great performance. But we'll talk about that tonight. We're going to open up the lines to everybody, fan feedback, get it off your chest. First off, let me introduce my two partners. First off, former A&T wide receiver and a Greensboro native, Dougie Fresh Brown. Welcome back to the land of living, Doug. How you feeling?
Hey, what's up, guys? Aggie proud. I'm back.
Yeah.
Mild case of bird flu, I guess. You know?
Yeah, man. Something weird. We missed you
guys,
last Wednesday night over at City Barbecue. First of its kind live podcast. Yeah, it was awesome, man. We're gonna do it again though. That was awesome. Awesome event. And of course, the brains of the operation. Oh boy. Longtime A&T insider and a beat writer on BlueDeathValley.com for over 2 decades. Mr. President, Craig Turner. What's going on, Craig?
I'm trying to recuperate. Late, long day, long game, long drive back.
Oh, that commute. I got home at 2:30. How about you, Craig?
Same thing, about 2:30 when I pulled up my driveway. Oh, it was it was great from a social aspect. I had a good time. Game, not so much.
Forgettable. All
right, so very much so.
Check this out. So we already got one guest. If you're a guest you want to get on the feed, go ahead and turn your camera on so we can see you, and we'll bring you on real quick. Right now, we don't have too many rules. We're gonna let you guys kind of. Well, we do have a few rules. No profanity. Don't be talking crazy. If you are a former,
no insults.
Yeah, well, like I say, this is how you gotta approach it. I know we're on the internet and we got kind of like a little safe space here, but don't say anything that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. So these college kids and coaches, they're real people. So if you feel comfortable enough, giving this criticism to someone, right there in person, then that's the same thing you probably want to bring out here. So don't get this internet courage or anything like that, right? But if you're a former player or somebody, especially if you are a guest who we had on our show, you have an open invitation. Come back in. Lamar, I know you're out there watching. We need to hear your thoughts. Headless Horseman. Antoine Wilder, I know you out there watching. We need to hear your thoughts. E-Bail, you ain't you kind of ghosting us on the DMs, but I know you watching. We want to talk to you finally, E-Bail. Go ahead and join this. So all you guys and former players and coaches, administrators, people who still work at A&T, personally, I don't want to hear from any current players because that's just I don't want to do all that. But if you're grown, working adult, and you want to, you work at A&T, you want to get on here, you got something to say, by all means, this is a good platform for you. We just want to have an open dialogue because a lot of stuff happened. A lot of people have strong opinions, and we don't want to get it all bottled up. We want to get it out of the chest. We'll be here for a couple of hours tonight, probably. Just kicking it like Aggies do, figuring out what happened. Craig, let's give us a quick overview of what you thought and what you kind of experienced yesterday. And Glenn Ford, I see you down there. Turn your camera on, Glenn.
Turn my light on.
Well, I had Glenn. We lost. So if you want to get on the conversation, all you gotta do is just make sure you turn your camera on so we can see you. And we'll bring you up real short. So go ahead, Craig. Give us a quick overview.
Well, it became fairly apparent to me after the first quarter that Central were game planning to nickel and dime us to death. They weren't going to spend a lot of time. Everything was quick reads. Some play action, but it was all Davis Richards. I mean, as I said last week, Davis Richards is the guy that stirs the coffee at NCCU, and he's a smart quarterback.
Yeah.
Who's big, physical, makes good decisions with the ball, and he understands and reads defenses exceptionally well.
But according to Coach Washington, he's not very talented. That's what Coach Washington said after the game. He said he wasn't a very talented quarterback, but he was still making plays.
You're kidding me, right?
I'm not paraphrasing. I'm just giving you what was said in public in a post-game press conference. But go ahead.
Well, I need to give Coach Washington my optometrist phone number, because I don't know what he was looking at, but and all due respect to him, he's just flat wrong on that. Davis Richards is a good quarterback, one of the better ones that I've seen in the last couple of years. Central had a distinct game plan on how they wanted to attack us. I, in turn, didn't think A&T had a game plan per se. I think it was just one of those, we'll just play it by ear and see what develops during the course of the game. I think that was their approach to it. And it failed us. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I was coming back last night with a busload of Aggies, and I was asked what I thought was the difference in the game. And I said preparation. Yeah, it was just preparation. One team was prepared to play, had done their homework, had really dissected what we like to do, knew our tendencies, especially on defense, knew what our tendencies were on defense in certain down and distance situations. We, on the other hand, we played that. We'll see how it goes, and we'll make adjustments accordingly. And we really never made any adjustments that were long term. I could, for the life of me, we got so frustrated last night because we had them in several 3rd and long situations, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20.
Oh man, could you not get off the field?
And we let them out. We let them off the hook. We either bailed them out with once again dumb penalties, or a defensive alignment that just was great as far as don't let anybody behind you. But God, you're gonna give up the first down yards on a 3rd and 18.
If not, just give it up. You had a penalty. And
right.
Look, Darrell and Glenn Flores.
I take my chances if they're gonna sling it all. If they're gonna sling it the length of the field, I'll take my chances on that rather than giving up those curl routes that we were giving away.
Right. Darrell, hold tight real quick. Doug, give me a quick thought, man. And Glenn Ford, you're still down there. We're gonna bring both of you guys in real quick. Give me a quick thought, Doug.
We'll talk more about it. I do want to address some of the things, but we lost to a good football team yesterday. It's not the football team we spoke about. It's not the Central team of a year ago or 2 years ago. And when you play a team first game of the season, it's always tough because the bottom line is you don't know what a team's going to come out, what they're going to do. And I think they did have a better idea of kind of who we were versus who they were. But we came out as far as their tendencies are concerned. Yeah, we had some tendencies, and they had some tendencies too. And I think we took advantage of some of their tendencies, and they took advantage of some of our tendencies, which is ironically some of the same weaknesses. That we ran our touchdown was a wheel route to Warren, right? They came back right back and hit us with a wheel route with the running back out the backfield. And that is a matchup situation that is vulnerable in both of our defenses. So we did have a game, but both coaches took advantage of that. Yeah. We took some shots downfield. That's something that I'm always arguing, fussing about.
First touchdown.
We might not have connected,
yeah.
But not only the first touchdown, some of the long, deep throws where we drop back into the football down the field, try to get those guys a chance. Yeah. Now, we didn't always connect. Ball wasn't inbound. So that's something that, I would have.
I want to talk about that too.
I'm going off my notes of things I wanted to see prior to the game and things I didn't necessarily get to talk about. So I was happy that we took the ball down the field. We got to make some plays in space sometimes. And even to Craig's point, on some of those 3rd and 18s, a lot of those 3rd downs, I think they went 7 for 9 early on in the first half. a lot of them were short third down conversions, right? They put themselves in a good position, but they didn't have to convert long third downs. And they had a couple of the long ones, the one that we had the penalty on, and another one where they actually ran a really savvy route. They ran a guy to hang the linebackers, kind of ran a curve route at the linebackers, and the guy went kind of inside out, and then they snuck a guy behind the guy. So they really took advantage of not just a scheme, but a particular area in the scheme that it was a good play, good call, good catch. And
who's their offensive coordinator? Who's the offensive coordinator?
Man, I'm telling you, I couldn't tell you right now, but
because
he's
a new guy,
play, good call for them.
He's sharp, man.
Yeah, they mentioned his name a couple of times on the broadcast. I'm still, you got to watch the broadcast a couple of times because there were other times when we did have guys in the right area, and the guy ran like a little Hunter Winfrow or Cooper Kupp route, and shook the linebacker off of him and came back inside, which to the naked eye looked like, hey man, the guy's just running open in the zone, but guy made a good play, and those are the intricacies of the game and matchup nightmares at times that defensive coordinators have, because you can do everything right, you can put the guys in position, call the right play, and sometimes they just make a better play, and sometimes it's at an inopportune time. But Craig's right, some of the penalties, those hurt you, especially when they're your veteran guys and your upperclassmen. Some of the mistakes we're trying to eradicate. It's tough to get the offside call on the first game of the first play of the game on something that you've been working on that the other sideline, is definitely trying to take advantage of. And that kind of hurt that they, made a point to take advantage of that, and that got us. But that's also a kid that's trying to get back there and make a play, I don't know.
Hey, Doug, they told us all off season, okay, this is one thing. What was the main thing from Coach Washington? We are a better disciplined team. We're going to show you guys. We've got that problem fixed. In the first drive, you give up 3 penalties.
We're going to definitely talk more about discipline because I got some discipline pointers. Yeah. I wasn't going to break them out, but I'm going to break them out over the next couple of weeks if necessary. But there's some things we can do better. But I look at the individual player. I don't think that was a situation where you can point at team discipline. I look at the kid. I look at his position. I look at his overall, his experience, his tenacity, and the style of game he plays. And that's a kid that's coming. He only knows one speed, right? Doesn't have a ton of experience. But, I think throughout the game, you saw flashes of his ability. And in the past, I've compared him to Chris McNeil in terms of the range that I think he can play with or the direction I'd like to see him go in. So hopefully that's something he learned from. I saw him beating himself up about it. I saw his teammates pick him up about it, which is another good thing. And I saw some other good things. I set 2 rows behind the team, and there were things that I was looking for out of the team that I wanted to consider as improvements that I saw, amongst the sideline and the coaching and accountability. Now, we got a ways to go. Ain't no doubt about it. But talk about some of the things we looked at improvement last year. There were some specific things. I'm like, are we better at this today than we were last year? And there's a few areas that we'll be able to talk about that we'll check on the box. But the first game's always tough, man. I hate playing those guys in the first game of the season. I got some terrible horror stories about and nightmares from playing them guys in the first game of the season. Much rather play a cupcake, just to get. Guess what?
We were the cupcake. Hey,
no.
Listen. It's like that movie.
I'm gonna tell you like this.
It's like that poker movie. It's like that movie. They say if you sit at the poker table and you can't find the mark in 15 seconds, guess what? You are the mark. So if you can't find the cupcake, we are the cupcake.
We weren't the cupcake. I've been a part of really good, talented A&T teams who didn't go out there and play against their best game against Central the first game of the season. I hate playing it at a neutral site first game of the season. There's a lot that goes into that. Again, the pressure's all on us. No pressure on them. They're coming out guns are blazing, and it doesn't take much to get that football's a funny game, right? And that momentum gets going, or something goes wrong and you start looking around, and guys are looking for other guys to make plays, and underclassmen are looking towards upperclassmen. And, we always say we got a lot of talent, man. It's not a lot of balls. It's not a lot of snaps that go on in the game. And the play sheet gets a little tighter, and, that depth chart gets a little smaller when, the game is close and the pressure is ratcheted up. So I know guys are going to say, well, why didn't we see this guy play, or why do we do this and that? Guys, we had that one drive. We had 3 plays in that long stretch in the first quarter, right? Most of your script is 3-4 times as long as that. How you want to come out in the plays you want to call, but that kind of goes out the window. And I think you saw some of our ability as an offense, 3rd, 4th possession when we had to just turn it loose. It's like, all right, 4 wide, whatever we got to do. let's start moving the football, and we moved the football. I've been more concerned if we struggle to move the football all day and didn't make any plays.
But like Coach Washington said, you got to finish. And,
you got to finish. But, hey,
yeah.
It's like last year, that was a guy pretty much making his first college football start, right? And I think the game was very similar to how the style we played in Furman, where we came out and we made some good calls, had some guys in space, made some plays here or there, but didn't make enough plays to win the ball game. It didn't make the timely plays that you need. Instead, we had some timely turnover.
Yeah.
Multiple timely turnover, because I consider the block kick a turnover.
It was turnover. Yeah.
So, those are things that happen, with a young football team. And there are some things that we definitely want to address. And the lights were bright out there. And, I don't think we did too many. There's some things we could have done better, guys. But, me, I'm generally a glass half full guy. I'm still trying to find my cup, man. It ain't around here today. But,
we gonna get to it. We gonna get to it. So look here, let's try to get some guessing here real quick. So Glenn Ford, are you there? Because I don't want to bring in nobody who's ain't there. Are you there? Turn your camera on so I can see you. If you're there, if not, I'm going to Darrell real quick. Darrell, until Glenn Ford is shows me a sign of life, I'm gonna bring you in there. Darrell, here you go. Here's a shot at the title. Where you at, Darrell? What's going on? Can you hear us? We're not starting off great here, guys. Darrell.
After dark, I guess.
Yeah. Darrell, you're not breaking into nobody's house right now, are you, Darrell?
Sounds like he's in a car.
Yeah, that ain't safe. Well, how about this, Darrell? Why don't you go park and then get somewhere situated, and we'll bring you back. All right? My man.
That looked like me after the game last year getting home, man.
Yeah. He sounded like he was that's how I was on 85, bro. I was just thinking to myself, we got Billy J. Billy J, I see his face. Hold on a second. Let's bring Billy J in there. My man, Billy J. What's going on?
Billy.
What's up, Doug?
There you go. Billy? There you go. He's
What's
alive.
on, fella?
Hey,
man, listen, man. I'm glad to see you down here hanging out with us on Blue Death After Dark. Can I assume that you were in Charlotte last night?
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, I was there.
So give me a little bit of a rundown of your whole little experience, because I know you probably did more than just go to the game. Probably had a little bit of good time. Tell me how was your experience last night?
Oh, it was good. We had fun. I went with my cousins and all, and friends, and we met up there, and we had a good time. But getting back to the game,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure Craig Turner has said it. I'm pretty sure Doug has said it. And I think all Aggie fans, that know football can agree that right from the jump, the boys did not have no drive or no get-go. It was very apparent between the central players that had more energy to them. Mm-hmm. They didn't have that typical, that go for gusto that, that Aggie football is normally, accustomed to. Now, I do have to give them some credit. I'm pretty sure you guys know that one of the former defensive coaches was at Central.
Courtney
and it seemed like that his game plan was definitely apparent. And I think it's one of the things I've always said in different podcasts and different discussions in the Aggie groups.
Yeah.
Is that, and this is my opinion, I could be wrong, is that, okay, as a coach or as an offensive coordinator, I might be wrong. Seems like to me, if you're going against your old former defensive coach, you should bring all the cats out the bag. I mean, I'm seeing plays. I'm in the stands calling plays before I can see it happen. Like, I'm seeing plays that we're running that we ran in the Celebration Bowl. Like, there's no, how can I say? There's no, what's the word? Evolution in our offense, in my opinion. Like, we've been running the same offense over and over and over again. Like, like I said, you're playing your former defensive coach. Don't you think your former defensive coach is going to have your offense? He's going to know your offense up and down.
Well, Billy J, guess what? So after the game, in the post-game press conference, Coach Washington admitted as such. He said that they were on the field and they were signaling plays, and he saw that Coach Cord was immediately telling what the play was going to be. So they had to go in the second half, they had to go to kind of like a dummy play call system, to where they had one guy giving fake plays and another guy giving the real plays, just to kind of throw shit off. But How do you not know that going in? Like, why would that be a shocker to you that Courtney Cord knows all your signals? How do you assume that I'm going to go into this game with my old signals? That to me get off me flabbergasted. Like,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was. See, even as a coach or even as an offensive coordinator, they should have known better than that.
You know what it was, Billy? It was hubris. It was like just arrogance. Like, I'm smarter than you. I'm better than you. We're more talented than you. There's nothing you can do about it. We're not going to jump.
And to your point, I think you are spot on. And you know why you're spot on? Because I believe I looked at Coach Broadway's. They interviewed him like maybe a day or two before the game, and I think in Monday's press conference when they asked him about you going against your former coach
Washington. Coach Washington.
Yeah, Coach Washington. Yeah. Are you worried about going against your former defensive coach? And pretty much simply, and not need exact words, but he said, "Well, we're not too worried about it. We'll be prepared."
Right.
You know.
Because you know what, he felt like this was my protege. Like I taught him everything he knows, but he don't know everything I know. So.
Right.
And I'm
doing
tell you
enough.
right now. Hey, Craig, I'm gonna tell you right now. Courtney Cord out coach his boss, his former boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely
the whole staff there. Their whole staff.
I mean, that's unfair. That's unfair to say that he outcoached. Coach.
Doug, how is that unfair to say that you 28?
Coach don't call the offensive plays.
But he's overseeing everything. No, he's
right.
he
like the bottom line stops with the head coach. Bottom line stops with the head coach.
Barnett shows him.
I'll take that statement, Craig. And that statement is much more appropriate than he outcoached Coach Washington because Courtney Cord coaches defensive. Coach calls the defense. Coach Washington does not. You hear Tom Brady say all the time, It wasn't me versus Peyton Manning, right? Everybody in the game, it'll be built up as those two. But those two didn't go head to head. Now, if you want to say overall philosophy, maybe Courtney Cord shaped his defensive game plan based off what he knows about A&T and Coach Washington. Then that's fair. But Coach Washington did not go out there and orchestrate his offensive game plan based off what he knew because he's not the person that designs the offensive game plan, which I still think we did some things good offensively. But when you get put in a hole, you get down, it changes things. And there were a lot of guys out there for the first time trying to figure some stuff out. So, I understand the concept, and I understand you want to put them head to head, but
that's fair.
Stops on Coach Washington's doorstep, right? He's the head man, and he's got to take. He's got to take it on the chin with it because it's his program. But in that offensive room, I guarantee you, it's the coordinator and the staff and the players are the ones that's, maybe with Coach Washington picking his head in, like, hey, we got to do this better. But the offensive coaches are the ones that's like, hey, we didn't do this on this play in this particular scenario in this series, So that's how those are the guys who are going to be handing out the grades. So that's where I put
I got you.
Where those guys handle where they put the responsibility, not me.
All right. So last one, Billy J. So give me moving forward, man. Do you have confidence that we can bounce back from this? Yeah, I mean, like, do you see some people are already throwing the towel on 2022. Give me your overview right now, how you feel based on Saturday.
Well, then also, I was also listening to Coach Washington's post-game conference, and you can tell in his tone that you can tell he was flat out disappointed.
Yeah, he was.
Flat out disappointed in his team. You can tell he was kind of disappointed in himself. Like, hey, like some of this stuff's following me. We didn't come prepared like like Aggies are normally accustomed to being prepared. And that's pretty much my get through of it. Now, moving forward, can we bounce back from this? I think we can, even though
it's gonna take about 3 weeks, though.
It's gonna. I'm gonna keep it real. It's gonna take about 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
For it to get back right, because you guys, as we all know who we have coming up next in the next 2 weeks, and so forth and so on.
South Carolina State's probably going to be like, shoot, that's going to be the one that we got to get off the schneid.
Against North Dakota State, I mean, everybody knows what North Dakota State is about and what they're going to bring. And we're going to have our hands full. I'm just going to keep it real.
Yeah. Well, Billy
All
J,
right.
thank you so much for jumping on here tonight, man. We got some
Like
other
that.
people
My
behind
guy,
you.
Billy.
Hey, but don't be a
Appreciate it, man.
stranger. And we gonna probably
Yeah,
do it
thanks,
again.
Doug. Thank guys. Thank you for having me. Somebody got jumped on and right in the good time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
And thank you guys.
That was
Billy,
Billy J.
man, we used to go head to head on that old. Billy had the old Sega Genesis and the Dreamcast.
Oh man, that's
it
old
was up
school.
in Dakota. Say, yeah, we used to battle it out on Madden back early in the day.
All right,
Yeah,
let me get Glenn Ford in real quick. He's been here for a minute.
Glenn is back.
Yeah, Glenn's back. Glenn, how you doing, man? Glenn.
Hey, y'all can see me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
got a
we
little
Yeah.
Can
late.
you hear me?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that headboard, man. We
I guess,
shopping
man.
at? What's that, Bro Hill?
Man,
That's
I'm chilling.
That's
I don't
guess
know.
do it.
My wife buy all this stuff.
that's nice,
I'm chilling.
man.
I guess do it big, man. I guess do it big.
That's that shit, man. I like the interior design. All right, so Glenn, man, come on now. Are you doom and gloom? Are you kind of one of these sunshine game guys? Got a little optimism? How you feeling right now after yesterday?
Normally, I'm like Brother Doug. Normally, I'm a glass half full, and if I listen to him more, I'll be optimistic. My views are a little different. I'm not a lifelong Aggie, but all of a sudden, my son goes to school there. He plays ball there.
Okay.
So we traveled all the way from Houston, Texas.
Oh, really? Really?
The game last night.
Okay.
Yeah.
What part
It
of
was
Houston?
a nightmare in of it.
What part of Houston?
Detroit, third ward.
My man.
Detroit.
So you know I'm from the Southwest, man. So you from Detroit? Okay, we got to talk about that a little bit offline, man. Okay. So y'all made the trip, and what else? How was your day before the game? Did y'all get a chance to tailgate?
Oh no, man! It's a nightmare in and of itself. We literally made it in about the second quarter. So of course, to my surprise, I'm literally, guys. Literally, we were supposed to be there before noon. Get all festive, eat, drink, be merry. But it was that's for another day. But I walk into the stadium. I'm sitting here expecting for us to be up, because I done heard, I'm just built myself up, and I'm like, and the first thing I hear is touchdown Eagles, and I'm like, oh, okay, so they just scored and we must be up, 10 points or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I see the score, and I'm like, huh? What? How can this be? What? This is my first experience, and I'm just like, no. I'm like, you know what? I'm just bringing bad mojo or something to the game. Like this is just, my whole day is bad.
It's your fault.
It is my fault. So I mean, yeah, I'll take the hit for this one. I mean, it was like, oh, I'm like, surely it's gonna turn around. Come on, God. I mean, like, is it give me something for the day? But it didn't get any worse. I got in there. Hey, we did. I got in there to see the field goal before halftime. So I'm sitting here like, okay, all right, we're good. Second half, we're gonna bring it. So I hadn't seen a lot of the team except for what I saw in the spring, and I'm sitting here saying, powerful run game. Like, these guys are physical up front,
Right?
Like, Aggie's physical up front. I'm expecting that these guys are gonna pound it, right? And so I don't know. We were at times I feel like we were playing like we were down more than we were, right? Because think about it.
Yeah.
The 21 at halftime. Okay, it's a touchdown, 2-point conversion. We don't even have to worry about the 2-point conversion. It's good, right? I'm sitting here concerned. I heard what my son said. They know, they're concerned about his coach Cord. So forgive me if I don't know all the names. But it's like that was the only concern that he knows it's his defense. He knows the defense. So there's a little concern there, right? And so, my son comes over, gives me a little debrief, and I'm like, okay, what? He's like, they're moving up and down. He said penalties. I'm like, penalties. I'm like, I know. I done heard. I've heard Coach Wash. I done heard, and we're gonna cut down on the penalty. So he's like, yeah, penalties killed us. They're killing us, with the little middle. And sure enough, everything my son said, I saw the second half, except for the fact that, hey, they scored 21 at half. They only scored 1 touchdown in the second half.
Now
so it's like, okay,
if you listen to Coach Washington, that's because he stepped in and took over the play calling of the defense in the second half.
Oh, is that what it was? Look, something happened because they only scored. The problem is that he didn't talk to the offense.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And so you bring 13 points, and I'm like, surely we're gonna score. We're gonna score the second half. You can't think that. Look, even the great Alabama had to adjust. I don't care how good your defense is, you gotta score in this new generation. Okay, you gotta have an offense that can score. And so, it's like we drive. The quarterback, hey guys, keep pushing, young man. I'm always gonna be positive, but I see what he can and what he can't do. At least based on the facts that I can see.
Give me. Okay, he's a true freshman. Zach Yeager. Give me your
redshirt freshman.
Excuse me, redshirt freshman.
Okay. Well,
give me your strengths first. Tell me what you think he did well. Let's be positive. What did he do well?
Well, first of all, he's a big, strong guy. Obviously, he's mobile, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that first of all, that freaking hold they talked about when they took away about 20 yards or so. I'm like, come on, man, like stop it. Like I don't know, referee missed a couple. I don't know what was up with that.
Some bad home calls.
Yeah. So he's physical. Okay, he's physical. Man, he's a freshman. Okay, so that's good. That's a positive.
Freshman.
Yeah. So, what was the good? Physical. Look, here's the way I see it. Okay, candidly, he can throw what I call between the hashes. He can't throw to the outside. Neither way.
All right.
He was missing. He was missing the back shoulder passes. He was high and away on the other outside, like on the little touch ones, the ones where he scrambled to the right and the guy's wide open, he right in between them. Nobody between him and the man, and he still misses them. You can't at this level. You just can't.
You can't miss those.
Look, I was here in the spring. Y'all call me whatever. I've been a little league coach. I love some football, and I love some analysts. And I'm gonna tell you that the guy that was third in rotation during the spring was the guy that actually impressed me the most in terms of accuracy.
Who you talking about? Eli Brickhandler?
Yeah, Brickhandler.
Talking about Brickhandler? Or you talking about Hooker?
I don't know. He went to private school or something.
Was he was he like kind of a lighter hue than other guys? Was he melanin challenged, maybe?
Oh yes. Oh
that guy. Okay, that guy.
Brickhandler.
Eli Brickhandler. Yeah.
He appeared honestly the most accurate of the three. And so in my mind, when it's coming now, so he doesn't have as much of the physical intangibles that you want. But look, I'm sitting here watching Bama, and I'm like,
5'11" guy. Yeah.
He 5'11", so I'm not. You can't run these days. You got to be able to score, and so I don't know. I'm talk me off the edge, Brother Doug, in terms of he's going to get better. But, hey, you just gave me hope just in the fact that I was thinking he was a senior. So, okay, there's a lot more hope.
Yeah. And we did spend some time in the red zone, guys. Again, it feels like the Furman game, but we had opportunities in the red zone, and most of the game it was less than a 2-score ball game, right? 2-score ball game.
I mean, so
we saw how quickly we can score, in one quick
and move the ball. We can move the ball.
We can move the ball. So those are two problems that I've seen us have before that I was like, man, we're not moving the ball and we can't score. So I'd like to know that we're moving the ball. And we had games last year, Kennesaw State, where, we moved the ball, couldn't punch it in. So, I mean, those timing, those are things you got to work on. I don't know how many reps he's had with some of those guys, but, you got to get some reps in too. I know Jalen Fowler has had a ton of reps. He said to split some reps with him at some point. So I think that chemistry will continue to develop, late in the game when we tried some of those jump balls, or we try to get some balls in the corner of the end zone. That takes some chemistry. That takes some time to work out and get those things. But, hopefully it's nowhere to go but up, man. I think we can get better. We got a ton of room to get better offensively, for sure. So we got time to do it. My first positive is all our goals are still in front of us. Yeah, and our long-term goals, right, season-wise. You definitely hate to lose that one, but you still can be conference champs. You still can go to the playoffs, and that's really what you set out for when you start your season. So that's what I can give you right at the moment. There's some other ones I got to get Thriller on.
It's gonna be a tough sale. Hey, Glenn, right before we let you go, all right, you are you football coaching legend, right? In your neck of the
No,
woods.
I ain't see all of it.
That's what I heard.
Hey! Now, if you heard of Southside Ducks, now we got boys playing at all levels. So yeah, we got some boys right now. The guy that caught the game-winning touchdown for the Georgia Bulldogs, straight from the Southside Ducks. So
you got some guys. Right? Listen.
Yeah, we got some ballers.
So what is one thing as a coach, from one coach to the other, right? You giving Mr. Washington some advice here. What is one thing that we can do to get this thing turned around quick and fast and in a hurry? In your opinion, this is one thing we can implement. We're all about solutions here. We don't want to just outline everything that's wrong. What's something we can do better that will make an immediate difference?
Well, on the defense, so I'm more a defensive guy.
All right, I'll take that.
First is this. What I saw was a vanilla. Oh my goodness! There's no way we cannot stop someone on 3rd and 13, guys.
Repeatedly, not just once.
With the underneath, with these underneath screens. But guess what? That is a non-aggressive defense. Like you don't play not to lose. So your defense has got to be more aggressive. Bring those dogs up. Let them eat.
Well, I fight you on that, Glenn. I got to argue on that, Glenn.
I got to agree with Glenn because why you allowing him to be? I hate allowing the opposition to be comfortable. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Glenn. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm gonna give y'all a little secret right here because it's not a secret anymore. The teams that beat us and take advantage of us defensively take advantage of our aggression. We got beat on the wheel route because we were up around the line of scrimmage, showing pressure. Okay, a lot of the routes they're getting open on late. When you go back to FAMU and they beat us at home, guys run screens and rub routes to take advantage of your aggression. When you're up,
hey, wait a minute. I just saw these, but Brother Brown, but Brother Doug, I'm sitting. I just watched the freaking FAMU game, the FAMU Jackson State game. Oh, by the way, I'm originally born in Jackson, Mississippi. But anyway, so I'm watching this game. You talking about rub routes. Look, these guys, look, I tell my DBs, banjo. These guys running rub routes, take the switch.
You see it. They telling you they got to communicate.
Match, they got these guys on Jackson State. Look, these boys were communicating, coach. Don't tell me, you telling me if you're telling me somebody can beat us at this, we got to be smart enough to play, not only play this game, but think this game. Now, I'm not suggesting we play, flat zero to where our safety, we don't have no help over top. But come on, we can't sit here and say, we're going to give you 10 yards and a running head start, and we're going to stop you for 3. Look, there has to be a better meaning.
I'm going to give you another secret about it. Hold on, I got to give you another secret about the FAMU Jackson State game. That game was about the Joes. It ain't about the X's and O's. That's about the players on the field. That was about the talent today. That was not about scheme today. That is about talent level today.
But still, what I saw was communication on the backside switches. They were not getting. So when you're talking about rub routes. That's what.
I'm only going off the field. It's tough to play a guy. They literally got their big a few of their big plays off running rub routes, which is they do it at every level. It's a great. Every single level of successful football, somebody's running a rub route. We had success on a rub route. They scored their second touchdown off their last touchdown off a little hitch and go. But basically, to create space, you run guys. We run guys past the referee all the time on crossing routes. Every team in America does it. You're rubbing past someone to shake the defender off. And so when we play aggressive, or when I won't say at the line of scrimmage, when you play aggressively, that's how teams take advantage of you. And I agree. We used to get thrown on the bus for playing aggressive too much, right? We used to bring the blitz too many times and get beat with the short dump off. You saw Central Ball ran a lot of screens to the running back. That's because we're aggressive. We're bringing heat and pressure. Yeah. We actually did fly around yesterday. Taquan King,
my Lord.
That was a
positive. That was a positive.
Cole, those guys, and I set field level. So I'm judging what I consider. It's tough. The speed is a little different the closer you get to the field. We flew around. Now we weren't as consistent, but I was looking for guys loafing. I looked to see if we got 11 hats to the football.
The effort was there.
The effort was there, which again, there's times when we could have put our head down and said, you know what, the effort ain't gonna be there. And there's times we've done that in the past, i.e., Gardner Webb, but we were like the last time we saw our guys, we weren't pleased with the effort. So I was happy to see effort.
Coach, so
we got to see some more playmaking. I'll be honest, we got to see some playmaking.
But so coach, so what I'm saying, I'm not just talking aggression here. I'm talking more so schematic scheme, right? So what I heard some of the players say afterwards was that they put in this something called flex or something, right? And so, but yet at the same time, I'm sitting and I'm looking at the alignment, and everybody's standing flat feet, as I tell my son, covering
at the
grass.
Sticks. Yeah,
Like,
right.
Thriller, where do we used to stand back? We normally we're behind the sticks. We're 5 or 6 yards behind the sticks.
But like Glenn say, I hate standing flat-footed because an object at rest tends to stay at rest. An object at motion tends to be in motion. If you have to move on the football field and somebody has a head start, but I'm saying if somebody has a head start at you and you're flat-footed, you're gonna be at a disadvantage. And plus,
it's hard,
you're not rerouting this guy.
Go back and look at the film from in that game when we're that same alignment when our feet are flat-footed at the sticks. Now I'm not always a fan of that alignment. It's what you do with that alignment. And we forced the team to throw underneath, and when we threw underneath, Jacob came upfield and
killed the running back. I saw that.
That's why you line up like that. Because too many times, and give me more defenders at the place you know they're trying to throw the football to. Too many times I see us line up in a zone and somebody runs past the guy and sits behind you in the zone, and then they're catching that curl route you're talking about, or that deep crosser behind those guys that are sitting at 10 yards instead of the 13 yards. I just think you have to make more plays on the football in space. I'll tell you another thing I like we did. Okay. We moved Karan Pronti off just the corner. We didn't allow him just to be on an island.
Right.
We had him in the middle of the football field, ready to make some plays, and he made plays from that position. So I'm looking at the scheme. I'm looking at us make plays or make not plays. I'm looking at the Joes out there for us, because I tell you, it's about the damn Joes. Y'all don't want to hear me on this sometimes. I know that we have some guys in street clothes.
We got some Joes, but Doug, we got Joes. We got a whole bunch of Joes. We've been talking all season about the Joes we got.
What did you tell me you were worried about on the defensive line?
That's the one area where we did not address.
Did we give up the run with the big guys in the interior you were concerned about? Did we not? Was running the football up the middle a problem with us yesterday?
No,
it was not.
Because
who started the game at defensive end where we got, and I love this kid too, but who started the game? Who was missing at defensive end for us?
First of all, the milkman, he's on the milk carton again.
Okay.
Jermaine McDaniels was missing.
Is he an impact player? Do you think he impacts the game? A healthier Jermaine McDaniel, does he impact the game for you?
Yes.
Oh hell yeah.
Okay, so it's bigger than just turn on the film and say we lost to Central. You got to look at some of those ins and outs, and it comes down to matchups and who you have in certain places and spaces on their field. And at times, we got beat on by a team that has some other good guys. You look on their roster, they're running backs from Marshall. I mean, they got some kids that can play too. And it's only one football on the field, and I don't care who you got out there. If I can take advantage of a one-on-one matchup, which they did a really good job of in the slot at times. Yeah. And that's what you're talking about, where you said where we were aggressive in those where I'm talking about some of those rub routes and some of those tricky in and out routes. I mean, you only get so many live, active, real game reps. Actually, you get no game reps in practice because you're not playing a game. You cannot simulate what it's like to play in the game, especially against an opponent when you really don't know what the hell they're going to do when they come out there.
All right, so Doug, this is our starting lineup right here. All right, we had at cornerback, we had Prunty. And we had
I can tell you the whole starting lineup.
We had Prunty and McNeil, right?
We started Sumter.
Amir.
We started Williams.
Yes.
Roberts. We started King. We started Shamari Wallace. We started Crawford Kaba. We started my boy straight out of Jacksonville 9-1 at defensive end, and then we started Harold at the other end.
Yeah, we started Harold. So we started with 3 defensive ends.
91 started the first snap from defensive end.
Did he? No, because I think we started like in a 3-5.
91 jumped off sides and started the first snap at defensive end. That's my boy.
Okay, all right, you're right. Okay.
Those are your starters who wrote out there, and you would think that McDaniel may or may not be out there. And I trust all those guys. Henry McDaniel played solid minutes, and that's who you talk thinking about. Henry played Henry's game. He had an uncharacteristic personal foul penalty. that he beat himself up about, and that was a big one. That was a big one.
That was a big
so.
one.
I mean, you know, and that was super untimely, you know. And I'm sure if he could have that back, you know, we had another one late in the game with my boy Stuck. You know, I'm sure he beat himself up about it, and it was one of those touchy, you know, hey, he just bumped into the quarterback. But as the broadcaster
but like
said,
you say, why you even
Don't
over
touch
there? I know you ran across the field, but why you even in his face in that scenario? But look here, Glenn, we're gonna let you go, man. Thank you so much for coming
that's
out.
good stuff, man.
Hey, that's some good feedback. I'm gonna have to tell me that youth organization again in Houston that you a part of, the South Side. What?
Ducks, baby. The Ducks.
Southside Ducks, baby, man. Southside Ducks. They the boys are real.
I'm gonna ask my people.
I'm gonna have to ask DP. Yeah, we're gonna have to ask DP about the Southside Ducks.
All right, Glenn.
Okay, all right.
Thanks so much, man.
It, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it.
All right, Chiro, I see you down there. All right, real quick. So, I guess I'll bring Troy right now. So, Troy, hold on. Let me show you. Let me do something real quick. Let me show. We talked about one of their drives. Let me show. Blah 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 blah. Got some video.
Hey, while you're doing that, I'm both at a loss for words and I got a whole lot of words.
Well, hold tight.
Such like a bowl week for the kids. The Dukes Mayo Bowl, ACC SEC, is on this field following the regular season. The Dukes Mayo Classic is in essence a kickoff bowl. And it's been an amazing week for the players on both teams. Good first down run by Richard.
This is Central's final scoring drive. Look at how they screwed this down. Yeah.
And that time, they knock him down, but he falls forward. You know, King got him. It's the same play. It's just a different curtain hanging there. Richard gets a block. Richard down the sideline. There he does with his legs again. Prunty has to shove him out of bounds inside the 30.
But mismatches in the run game because you get him blocking smaller guys.
Do it again. They send the two tight ends to the boundary side. Richard flips it over the middle down to the 21-yard line, and it's another 7-8 yard gain on first down. They've been perfect in the red zone tonight. 3 for 3, all touchdowns. Richard to the air, and that's incomplete on a crossing route to Devin Smith. Richard, who has certainly been called a coach on the field, feels like he's in complete control, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he's calling things at the line of scrimmage, which I love.
Third down. Richard going to give a little wiggle, try to run for the first down in front of Robertson, and he's got it. Woo. First and 10 for Richard. Flips it out. Deflected. Incomplete. Take. Richard on 2nd and 10 to the end zone. He's got his man. Touchdown to E.J. Hicks.
All right, that foolishness over there. All right, so we kind of saw in a nutshell some of
the lone scoring drive from the second half.
Yeah,
which was one big play, and we got in a one-on-one matchup, right? I'll take the defense in any other one of those other plays except 2 plays on that drive, right? Maybe I'm wrong. A one-on-one matchup, we got beat in the corner from a guy that is still basically in his first year getting a lot of playing experience. And a big play where the quarterback got to the edge. Now, the 3rd and 3, we asked our quarterback to make that play, right? To make a guy miss in the hole and fall forward and get a first down. 3rd and 3 is not, 3rd and 10. So we got pressure on the quarterback. If we didn't get pressure on the guy, we'd say we gave him time to sit back there and dance. We got pressure on him. He stepped up in the pocket and ran for 3 yards or 4 yards to convert a first down for his team. That's what you ask your quarterback to do. I look on the back end, nobody was open, and we got pressure on the guy. And then we had 2 guys there to make the tackle.
Did we got to make the tackle?
That comes down to making plays. That comes down to making football plays, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's my coaching hat, and I'm like, man, we got pressure. Guys falling at his feet. He had to abort the throw he wanted to make. He stepped up. There were 3 hats, 2 in his face and 1 behind him to make the play, and the guy he converted the first down. That's
all right. So Troy, we gotta kick you out, man. We got somebody. Hold
Troy
tight.
Back. Troy froze.
Nah, Troy's come back. Well, we got somebody. We got a VIP. Hey, Troy, we're gonna bring you back. Actually, all right. You can stay on. We'll bring this guy into it because he got something to say. Lamar, what's going on?
What's up, fellas?
What up? Go.
The GOAT. Okay, Lamar. So actually, I don't want to look at Troy right now. I'm kicking you out, Troy. Just hold tight. I want a full screen on Lamar. You coming back, Troy? Just chill. All right. Lamar, man. I saw you on Twitter, man. You came back. You put out a little question out for the people on your Twitter feed, and I guess the fan nation at large, and some of your former players. And you asked a simple question. What happened? Who's at fault? And first of all, do you have an opinion on what happened yesterday?
We just got whooped. As simple as that. We got whooped in every phase. Offense, defense, special team.
Hold on a second. I give you the proper introduction. This is Lamar Raynard, the all-time winners quarterback at A&T. He got more rings than anybody can imagine. But
passing yards.
all the records and everything. This one of the greatest. But go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, Lamar. We just got whooped.
Yeah, man. We got whooped, man. Simple as that. Central, they just wanted it more. I mean, from the kickoff to the end, the first kickoff to the end, they wanted it more.
How does that happen, though? How does that happen? As a player, how does that happen in the Aggie Eagle Classic season opener Labor Day? How can the other team want it more than us?
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I mean, I ain't gonna say too much, man, but I mean, you just gotta. Sometimes it ain't about coaching, man. It's about who really got that dog in them, man. I mean, I don't know. It's just I hate to say it, but man, when I played, man, it was just a beautiful time to watch because everybody really wanted it. Like all 22 players really wanted it. I mean, you could just see like for example, I seen Taquan King, even though he made some mistakes, that man was flying to the ball yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, it was beautiful to watch.
If you ain't playing with that kind of urgency, if you ain't playing like him, I can't look at him and say, man, I'm playing that hard. If I ain't running around like that, I got something to tell Taquan too, because he caught a cramp after celebrating.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We got to work on that celebration, killing too much of his energy.
You got to know that, man. I feel like, I don't know, man. They just got to look in the mirror. Like I said, I mean, it's tough because, we ain't lost to Central in so many years, but,
Hey, Lamar, how much of an impact do you think Courtney Cord going across the field?
The biggest impact, I don't know what people think. Like, y'all got to understand, man, with Cord was a defensive mastermind at A&T, right? He went to Central. You don't think he knew what was going on? Like, he knew what was going on at all times, probably every single play. And it's not, he can coach it up, but it's about really who really wanted it more. Like, we just didn't execute on the offensive end, like third down conversions. On defense, we could not get off the field. And on offense, we did not convert third down. And
all right. Go ahead. Okay, so I know. Listen, I know you're a former guy. You still in the locker room. You still come and talk to the guys. You still have a relationship. I'm not going to ask you to throw anybody under the bus, right? Right. But give me some positives and some things to improve on for this young guy Zach Yeager, because you have a unique perspective, right? You see everything. You know behind the scenes that guys like me, I can't even fathom. Just tell me what he can do better and what you thought he did really well.
Big props to Zach, man. Zach is a redshirt freshman. He came in and he did his thing through an early touchdown.
Yeah.
And it's a big game. Think about this though. Zach playing his first game, his first start in the Panther Stadium versus a rival team. My first game usually was against a D2 team, unless we play Jacksonville State.
I always tell you, man. That's a big confidence booster too,
right?
Man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Getting a rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm getting a rhythm. I'm throwing like 21 for 23. That's easy. It's easy when we're playing against a D2 team, but you come in playing against a rival team, and then you playing against Coach Cord. That's a defensive mastermind. Tony McCray, he played it with us at A&T. And then, so he knows football. He played in the NFL as well. So I mean, it's a big game. I feel like Zach held his own. It's just gonna be a work in progress.
Could we have made the thing easier for him? You think that our scheme was asking a little? Because I mean, look, Lamar, we only ran for Oh, when my
Yeah,
first half
yeah.
stats.
Throw
You only had like
the
8
first half
yards.
stats out. We only had the ball three plays in the first quarter. Your stats are
Yeah,
going to be
3
skewed with
possessions.
Right.
That's all we had.
So look, we had a total of 5 drives total, and that including that last field goal drive. We only
erase that one too.
had 8 rushing yards in the first half, right? But we're asking Zach to kind of carry
exactly.
the load.
When I'm gonna tell you this, like when I played, everybody know we had 1,000-yard rushing every year.
Right.
So to be honest, it was easier on me. It was easier on me to complete passes, to control the offense when you had a Tariq Cohen, when you got a Marquell Cartwright, when you got a Jamar, when you got a Jermaine. Like, it's easier. You know what I'm saying? So it's really easy. And we run the ball. That's what we do. So if we can't run the ball, you expecting a redshirt freshman to go out there and throw 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, whatever you could do to win the game. Think about it. It's kind of tough. Like, it's kind of unexpected. So
yeah.
you know what? Like I said, we got a big opponent this week against North Dakota State, and it's really about what you want to do. Like, I know the guys that I play with personally. I'm gonna tell y'all this. I know the guys I play with personally, like, they graduated with me and probably like a year before me in 2017 year. We took shit. I'm sorry. We took.
Go ahead. You good.
We really wanted to be great, so we really like dominated in our face, like in practice, on the field, off the field. Coach Broadway, he really preached that like you gonna walk, you gonna talk, you gonna act like a champion on and off the field. Period. Like, we really took that, you know what I'm saying, to effect. So these guys like Elijah Bell, he stated on Twitter the other day, like, they gotta find their own identity. Like, the old A&T, that's over with.
You can't ride off that. You can't ride off that coattail.
That's a huge point.
That's over with. Like, I don't want nobody thinking like, oh, we did this last year. Like, I want the fans really to think like, all right, that old stuff is gone. It's really new. Stop hanging on the old stuff. The new team, it's a new year, and every year is gonna be like that. Like, I know it's good to look in the past, but the past is gone. Like, we want to win now. I'm tired of people, like, I don't like when you trash talking. I don't like the trash talk because people like to go in the past. Like, stop going in the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to do what we do now. We trying to win now. We trying to win the FCS national championship now. Like, stop going in the past, but you know.
Okay, so we got hit in the mouth. We got, it was a shock, and honestly, we got 2 games in a row that we're going to be pretty big underdogs in. What type of conversation? This, if you can, live in them now, and you part of this team, what conversation should the players be having amongst themselves? This, right now, to do something to get things back on track.
Look, man, I always said, like, I know everybody, brothers on the field, whatnot, but you really got to hold each other accountable. Right now, at the point that if you look in the facts, like, you don't want to start 0-2, 0-3. We got North Dakota State this week, Duke the following week. Like, that, you know what I'm saying? Start 0-3. When the last time? Y'all know, I don't know. When the last time we started 0-3 as a program?
Before Broadway got here.
Before Coach Broadway got here, right? That's just a nasty tape. And when you start losing back to back to back, you lose confidence. It's like, why even play? That's how players will think. Like, man, look, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this day off. I'm gonna take this play off or whatnot. I'm gonna tell you, when we lost to Morgan, it was like a deflation. Like everybody was deflated in the locker room when we lost to Morgan. Then we came back and lost to FAMU. It's like, dang. Like, we beat ECU and Jacksonville State, and then we lost to Morgan State, the sorriest team in the conference, and then FAMU. Like, people were thinking, like, come on, man. Like, in the locker room, I'm not talking about outside the locker room.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it's like, you got to look in the mirror, man. Like, as an individual, how do you want your A&T legacy to be? Like, how do you want it to end? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to go out and stink it up and have a losing record, or do you want to go out and be like, yeah, I fought, and we lost our first game, but we came back and won the 2 biggest games of the season. Yep. You know what I'm saying? It's just about a man-on-man sport. That's what it is.
And that's what I think a good point is. Everybody here, including, I guess, myself, I'm glad you said that, because now I'm going to have to change my approach. It's not no foregone conclusion we're going to lose these next 2 games. We are still – This is still a football game.
We came out last year with the effort against Duke after having what we consider a lackluster performance against Furman.
Yeah.
And we came out from that game like, hey, man, I feel better about where we are as a football team than I did going into the game. So it can happen.
You got guys like Stuckey, right? You got guys who are putting together NFL resume tape, and they love a matchup like a North Dakota State, so they can fly around on film against a top-notch team and hold their own. So I think our guys are going to be motivated. I don't doubt that at all.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I feel like they're gonna come out and I mean, you don't have no choice but to go up from what we just played, how we just played.
Yeah.
No choice but to go up. So I feel like they'll take an approach, and hopefully they'll take an approach to get better each and every day, especially this week in practice, and put on a great performance. Now I know it's gonna be a hard game. Now we playing in that dome. That's different. Yeah. And they the FCS national champions. But
you know what though? Lamar? Right now, based on how yesterday went, we got house money. We're playing with house money. We shouldn't have no pressure, no stress. We should be flying around. I mean, what else? I mean, everybody think we're gonna lose by 40 points.
Right.
So go ahead and fly around.
Right, exactly. I believe the guys are doing it. And they have, and the thing is, they have players from when I played, they have players, so they know what winning looks like. Yeah. So I feel like my challenge for the guys this week is the players that played with me back in the day to really motivate their guys and push their guys. And, you never hold, nothing is ever personal, but, hold everybody accountable, man. Do your job, man. As long as you do your job and you get better every day, you should have the outcome that you want every single week. So hopefully they get it together.
All right, so Lamar, besides the games, you have a good time in Charlotte yesterday? Did you get a chance to go with your frat buzz and stuff?
Nah, great time. Yeah, I got we had a big tailgate before the game. It was packed. They were charging $1 to park. They crazy, right? But it was a great atmosphere. Just being, for A&T and for Central to really pack out the stadium like that, and HBCU. Like, I mean, that's a big deal. Obviously, we came the short end of the stick. I'm a players guy, so I'm there for the game, and we lost, so it's cool. But other than that, it was great though, man. I got to talk to some people, some fans from back in the day. It's crazy that they still know me though. They want to stop and take pictures. I still
awesome.
Be surprised about that.
That's awesome. No, that's how you should. No, that's how you and all those guys from those teams are supposed to be recognized.
Yeah,
because you are iconic.
Right. Like I'm saying, like all my guys, shout out to all my guys that play with me and put it all on the line every single week, man. And, and we deserve a shout out to all my coaches that did what they had to do to make the team successful. Shout out. I'm gonna just give a shout out right now. Shout out to everybody as far as the equipment managers, the training staff. Because I mean, people see like the outcome, but people really don't see the grind.
No, sir.
Shout out, no cap. Shout out to Coach Walthall. And I say this to this day. Coach Walthall was one of the biggest inspirations in Aggie football, the program. I promise you, he got on every player's nerves, but he really pushed us to the point where we didn't even think we could go. So shout out to Coach Walthall. I appreciate him. I know the players appreciate him because he made us a dog. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, the things that we used to do and how he used to, like, I'm talking about coming off my player of the year. Look, if I'm being lazy or anything with sprints, anything, he's gonna curse me out like he cursing the freshman out. Like he doesn't care. He treated everybody equal. Like nobody was different. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to like I said, everybody that was a part of the program, man. So yeah, it was a big deal, man. But thank y'all for letting me join in and say my little piece. I know people want to join in and talk too, man. So
hey, but let's check you out, Lamar. Tell you, call your dad. Tell you, I got his text the other day, and I was in the middle of something. I didn't call him back. I'm gonna call him back tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
On Labor Day.
Told me to join tonight. My dad said, "Man, you need to join today and say a little."
That's my guy, man.
We
got to get him on here.
Hey, tell Eddie I'm gonna call tomorrow. We gonna chop it up because I owe him a phone call. And he called me, and I just forgot about it. I said, "Oh, I got to call him back." So I'm calling your dad, and we're gonna talk about it. But until then, man. Mr. the GOAT, that's all we're going to call him, the GOAT, man. The greatest quarterback in A&T history, owns all the records, got those rings, back-to-back HBCU national champions. He knows something about winning, persevering, and
I want to let y'all know, though, it was never me, man. It was all my teammates, man. They made it easier for me. I'm telling you, a great team going to always make it easier for the quarterback. It's always the wide receivers that's making the catches.
Yeah.
The running backs that's running the ball, the O-line that's blocking, the tight ends that's blocking and making the catches, the coach that's calling the call. Man, if you're a good quarterback, man, the only thing I did was make good decisions, man. That's all you got to do.
Hey.
To be a great quarterback is make good decisions. So
That's all
Oh,
I
no,
know.
I saw you. I saw you sneaking across that goal line for that big score in that celebration mode. That looked like it was all you.
Oh,
No, that was everybody too.
The quarterback, man, they get all the glory, man. But when something go wrong, they get all the hate too, man.
Yes, sir. We know.
It's a part of the position, man. It's part of the position, man. But like I said, shout out to my teammates, man. Shout out to the A&T legends, man. It's good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's good when you can sit back 5, in the future 10, 15, 20 years later and talk about all the accomplishments that y'all made as a team, you know, and then just sit back and laugh. Like Coach Broadway, he texted me this morning and just told me that he was with my dad. My dad down in Miami right now. And Coach Broadway in Miami, they went to the Jackson State game. So they there together right now. And it's cool when you can look at that like, wow, my old coach and my father's together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Chilling at the game, so it's cool, man. But I'm gonna tell y'all this before I go. I got 2017 North Carolina A&T State football team over Jackson State. I don't care how bad they beat FAMU.
Oh yeah. Hey, we gonna build a time machine and have that fantasy matchup. I don't care.
I don't care about that. Yeah, they can take that one to the chin too. But now I'll talk to y'all, man. Y'all have a good night, man.
Hey, yo, and one thing. Hey, tell Ebel we gonna stalk him to the end of the world, but he gonna be on the show. I don't care.
Oh yeah, he'll get on.
Hey, we gonna get him on the show.
Yeah,
hey, we gonna get.
I'm gonna call.
All right, man. Hold down, Lamar.
Y'all have a good one, man.
I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Man, that is Lamar Raynard. Man, listen, we getting hyped now.
Accountability.
Guys.
He put the onus on the players, right? He put it on the players. He said the players got to hold each other accountable and make plays, right?
Yeah. So we bring the heavyweights in, and we're gonna go back to the light middleweight. What's up, A&T Roy? What's going on?
Well, hey, if that's the case, I'm Marvelous Marvin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Hagler. Hey, so check this out, Troy. We cut you off a little bit, but let's go ahead and jump into you because we do want to hear what you said to say. I know you were in Charlotte. I saw you at the game with your banner. You're going crazy right at midfield, hyping everybody up. First of all, before we start about the game, tell me how did everything go pre-game with you? Because I know you had a tailgate with your partners, your frat. How did everything go pre-game before the debacle started?
Oh man, I started the day off with a brunch with the Aggie gents. We had an outstanding time from about 12 to 3. I made my way over to downtown and got a free park.
All right.
About 5 blocks away and got a scooter and rode around and all the tailgates and yelled at people in between cars and had a good time doing that. And then I ended up, once I finished riding around, I went over to the Aggie Eagle tailgate and hung out over there in the shade and tried to cool off. Left there about 5:30 and walked over to the stadium and stood in line and harassed the Central folks while we waited for them to open the stadium.
All right. So you made the most of it prior to kickoff. Then
yes, sir.
When kickoffs happened, I'm assuming your spirit went down a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat everything everybody said, but a few things that stood out to me were, and here's why I really think the rubber met the road.
Okay.
North Carolina Central came into the game with a chip on their shoulder. They've lost 3 games in a row. They lost 2 of those games without scoring. I know they've heard the whole, they don't get over the 50 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But our team,
like somebody actually made a T-shirt once that said something about their record in those 2 games. So I'm pretty sure they might have heard it. Yeah.
We had 99-0. Then we had, I think, 100 and whatever to 14 and all that.
Right.
And so our team, to Lamar's point, who I think is arguably the GOAT. I ain't gonna say he's the GOAT, and he's my fraternity brother. But arguably, there's some other ones out there that some people can have some pretty good arguments with. But we weren't angry and mad about it like what they were. And frankly, Cord came out there blowing that whistle. He upped those guys, and I think they just had more get after it than what we did. Now I will say, I think we also got out-schemed quite a bit on both offensive and defensive sides of the ball.
Now, how so? Let's go into some specifics here. What schematically did let's start with their offense. What did Central's offense do against our Blue Death defense that you thought was pretty pretty clever.
Well, that's what Craig said at first. Dink and dunk. Dink and dunk. Take what they give you.
Right.
You know, on our side, I think we're making a mistake to say our bread and butter is to throw the ball deep on the sideline. And doing that a whole lot in games. We shouldn't make that our bread and butter. We need to do more taking what the defense gives us. And I think I'll point to a good place, and that's what Jackson State did today. Sanders, he just took what the defense gave him, 4-yard pass and let him get some yards, as opposed to trying to throw the ball deep down the sideline a whole lot of times.
You know what, Troy? Troy? I think they will not admit this. I'm pretty sure that Coach Washington won't admit this. I think this coaching staff is snake bit from last year, and all the times they tried to establish a run and it failed. And then when they couldn't really get it going in the first quarter, or first half at least, they pulled that trigger quick and started kind of like getting away from it. And like Doug said, we were never really out the game. It was a one score. Oh, it was a 2-score game at most for like 90% of the game, and even the final score was what, 28-13. So that was never really a reason to get away from getting that running game established. I don't
know about that. We came out. Well, we all know we go off our running game, right? So we weren't able to establish it in a 3-play first quarter, or that first drive we had in the first quarter, right? So next thing you know, you're down 2 scores. So yeah, you can say don't panic and and keep trying to start the run game.
Yeah.
But that next drive, we actually moved the ball and matriculated the ball down the field in an up-tempo, up-pace. And really the best we looked all night was when we had some tempo to us and some get-up and some pace. FAMU, I don't look at Jackson State and what they did offensively. Look at FAMU, what they did against Carolina. It's up-pace, it's up-tempo, it's on the ball. And I always argue that when you're up-tempo, the best offenses in America look good when they're up-tempo. Tom Brady is Tom Brady when he's playing 2 touchdowns behind and he's up-tempo. And I don't care if you're Tom Brady or if you're the next guy. My man was down at Alcorn State. They look good when they're playing up-tempo. And we do dink and dunk. If you can't establish the run game and they're crowding the box and they want you, they're there to stop the run, right? Everybody knows they want to stop us from running the ball, just like we want to stop them from running the ball. But once you're not able to run the football and the line of scrimmage crowded, well, how do you back guys up and get guys off of you? You got to push the ball down the field a little bit, right? You got to take some shots to loosen guys up from the line of scrimmage, because they showed all night that they weren't really intimidated by our run game, and we weren't able to get one established. But when we start opening them up, we kick it out to the sidelines and throw short passes. We throw 5-yard hitches to Burkhalter and guys, and that's taking what the defense gives you, just like guys throw 5-yard hitches and 8-yard hitches against us. So it's tough when you don't have a lot of offensive possessions or you're unable to establish a rhythm. Our biggest problem is, like you said, we weren't able to extend drives and put the ball in the end zone. We moved the ball effectively at times. We threw the football around. We took and run the ball. We took care of the football, which was our biggest thing. Like, let's not turn it over. But again, really, we talked about our 5 drives in the first half. I take away the first one because it was a 3-play drive, and I take away the last one because it was basically the penalty that got us down the field.
Yeah, right.
So we had 3 drives in the first half to make this magic happen and to establish a run game, to dink and dunk, to throw it deep. I mean, that's a lot to do when you only have those few possessions, right? So You got to put the ball in the end zone. You got to find a way to score points. But even with all of that going bad, not having the ball, and then basically doing what we want to do, the drives when they were able to run, to squeeze the ball and take some time off the clock, they controlled the football and didn't allow us to get in a rhythm and to get those things going. Because we did show, without even getting the rhythm, that we can be a quick strike offense, just like we showed at Furman when we went to run up top, a couple of times last year. But we weren't able to establish that rhythm enough. We were fine-tuned enough. Hey, if we get inside the red zone, it's 6 points. I think they said at one point Central was 3 for 3. They went 4 for 4 inside the red zone with 4 touchdowns.
Right. So look, I got it.
We weren't able to do that.
In the first half, they were 3 for 3 inside the red zone. They were 6 for 8. This is the first half now. They were 6 for 8 on third down. 6 for 8 on damn third down and 3 for 3 in the red zone. We were
again. That 6 for 8 is shaded because they weren't third and longs. They were 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
And that's good. That's a good point. And Troy, I'll throw it back to you though. I thought their big down was second down because they would start off at first and 10 and get stopped like a yard or, even go backwards, something like that. And then on second and long, they would get 8-9 yards on that second. That second down was what helped them on their drives. And then third, they just got, a 3-yard little hitch route or something. But second down was the money down for them yesterday. Troy, back to you though. You schematically on defense, what do you think that Central did defensively that just stymied everything we were trying to do?
Yeah, frankly, I don't know. But what I will say is I'm concerned about us not being able to run the ball. And it isn't just that game, but, even last year, a lot of conversation around Jermaine being too big, Jermaine being injured. And that's why we couldn't run the ball. But, man, we couldn't run it yesterday. I think one of my boys told me we ran the ball 16 total times. And 6 of those were Zach Yeager running the football.
The stat sheet will read, because I think at one point, if you look, they flashed the stats on the television, and they were pretty much even except the yards per play. And I know that was hidden yardage with the long pass to Jamison and the long runs by Zach Yeager, but it's either you're going to pay attention to the stats or you're not, right? So at some point in the game, our stats were mirrored our opponents. So that tells me again, playmaking, timely plays, bad plays, that took place, the block punt, right? That's a possession that I can't put on the defense when they got pinned back there deep, right? And it wasn't necessarily the offense's fault that the punt got blocked either. So that's special team. Field position. We did not win this field position battle. We were in some bad spots. Time of possession.
But that was the battle we lost.
Whooped us. So those are areas where we typically like to win, special teams, time of possession, and we got behind the 8 ball a little bit. So it's tough to run the ball. You're going to lose the time of possession if you can't run the ball, right? But I'm okay with dinking and dunking and moving it down the field, if you're moving the ball and scoring points. We just weren't able to make those plays and score points. So that's tough. And when you talk about running the football, Craig, something else we didn't talk about, and you guys were paying attention to the depth chart, and myself, I never really try to pay attention to the opening depth chart because there's so much that can go on with a player being out, whether it's injuries, whether it's something we don't know about that's team related. But Dak Wilson started his first game at guard that I can remember, and Cesar Monaro started at center. So we talk about chemistry and their ability. We started Corian Sharp.
Yeah.
So that was a different lineup for us.
Doug, I don't think LeGrone sits on the field.
LeGrone didn't dress. LeGrone didn't dress.
Yeah, he wasn't dressed.
So,
Wow.
I'll argue, how I feel about Lawrence LeGrone, and so that's not something that the guys were, that the average fan or anybody else was thinking about. But Lawrence LeGrone is, I don't know, that to me, that's one of our best offensive linemen, and he may or may not start. He may not be the starter anymore. I'm not sure, but I know he went out there yesterday. And I know he played us in the big games.
Is he in the doghouse? Is that fair to say?
I don't know, but he may be injured for all we know. We just don't know. But that's why it's a team and it's a unit, it's a group. And so when guys say, "Hey man, why are we rotating in offensive linemen?" Well, sometimes coaches know I got to get all these guys ready, or these guys got to be ready to play. So luckily those guys that we rotated in last year are now experienced guys, right? Corian Sharp, he's had a year under his belt. Where typically guys say, hey, he's a freshman, like he should just be, he's a sophomore now. He may just be rolling out his first couple snaps in some programs, but he's been battle tested and he's a guy we lean on now. I think Big Ten Williams got the start. I was getting a lot of burn in there at guard.
He did.
And,
he did.
Guys, those aren't some of the guys that we initially had penciled in, but he's been around a long time. Big Ten's been around a minute.
Our starting line was Lee at tackle, Monero, Stewart, Williams, and Wilson. So those are 5. And that's, and then
if I can jump in a second here, I understand that Jermaine McDaniel and Robert Porcher were declared ineligible on Friday. I don't know the reason why, and I don't know all the circumstances.
Hold on. So that's breaking news here.
I can't break news because I can't verify it. That's his breaking news. That's
because I asked Coach Washington after the game at the press conference, and he made it seem like it was something where he was nicked up or whatever. And this is funny because But that was off the record, so I won't talk about that.
That's right.
I had to remember the conversation, so we'll skip that. But hey, Troy,
until it's addressed.
So let's go back to what Troy said. He said that Porsche and McDaniel. According to A&T Roy,
they didn't play.
Yeah,
they did not play, and they might not be playing Saturday.
They were not. Yeah, they were in sweats, and I understand that it might be 4 games, and so I'm trying to find out if. Okay, I hear that, but will it be more? I mean, so I don't know the answer to that, but what I understand was last night it was because they were declared ineligible on Friday.
All right, so
and of course, this happens.
For the young man's sake, let's wait till we hear till we can verify and know more about until we can know more about the length of the possible
the situation.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but yep. And as a matter of fact, I tried to find that out, but I haven't been able to get that.
All right, so can we kick you out? Because I got some other people. Can you,
one more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing. Oh man. On the punt block, I think one of our players wasn't on the field. That was supposed to be out there, and they tried to get him on.
Was it 10 versus? So we don't have 10 people on the field, or we just had the wrong?
Well, let me say this. I know there was a player that was trying to run out there, and they pulled him back. But I haven't been able to see the game to see if we had 10 or 11 players on the field or not.
I got it. I was cutting up highlights, so I got to record it. I'll go back and look. That's a good observation too. That's a damn good.
Yeah. All right, y'all can drop me. I'm at a loss for words, but
look at I'll take you out, but you still be in the green room. So if you got something to say, just wave your hands and we'll bring you back. But I got like 3 other people trying to get on, so just linger if you want to.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Man. All right. So real quick, let's get Blue Hayes. No, who was first? Blue Hayes was first. Yeah, Blue. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's going on?
All right, what's going on? Hey, can you hear us pretty good?
Yeah, I can hear you. You'll be fine.
All right. I think turn your mic up a little bit, or you get a little closer so we can make sure we hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fair.
All right. Hey, look, and I got Damien and we got Clarence behind him. So I see you guys. Don't go anywhere. All right, Blue. So last time I saw you was at Kickback Jacks, right?
Yeah, spring game.
Spring game.
Charlie Dixon was running 150 yards that night. That day.
So I feel like are you like me, Blue? You feel like we got a bill of goods, because I thought that this is gonna be the Charlie Dixon show, and I didn't see that brother at all.
Yeah, well, I hear what Doug is saying, but we passed the ball 48 times and we ran it with the running backs 8. To me that's unacceptable. I know you got to get some type of balance between your run pass. I know we were behind, but we got to run the ball more than 8 times. I think we gave the young quarterback a disservice, not trying to run some type of draws or something in the second half just to get the running back some carries.
We could have made it easy for him.
I gotta ask y'all a question. Now y'all know Aggie fans as well as I do. With us being down 2 scores, if we would have lined up out there and ran that football and had to go 3 and out, you tell me what the noises you would have heard from the stadium, Craig Turner. It begins with a B. That's what you would have heard. And I'm off. I love a run game. I play for Bill Hayes. Bill Hayes love a run play more than Peter love the Lord, as he say. He loved 3 yards in a cloud of dust. But I mean, and I'm sure Coach Barnett, I'm sure, wanted to run the football. They showed that early on in the first drive that we wanted to establish the run. But sometimes circumstances on the ground change, and the most success we had was tossing the football around a little bit. And in today's offenses, the traditional run is not what you're going to see all day, every day. Now, I heard Samaj Marsh, Dixon's horn up here the last couple shows. That's what we do. And I'm sure the folks down in Durham know who Charlie Dixon is too. They know who A&T, and they know what we do is run the football. So I'm sure the Central was prepared to stop the run.
I'm sure every NFL team knows who Derrick Henry is. It's a difference between knowing and stopping it.
Yeah, we gotta stop. We gotta stop calling Charlie Dixon Derrick Henry.
No, but I'm saying all four of us can say that when what we saw in the spring game, and some of us even saw in the Fan Fest scrimmage, This guy's a specimen. And what I'm saying
not
is,
gonna evaluate a guy what he did in a spring
but
football game.
I'm going to evaluate him being 6'3", 200 pounds, and can go downhill. I mean, he's an asset. I don't think we're that talented where we can afford to have somebody like that not just get a touch. I ain't saying give him 10 touches. I'm just saying,
at some point in the game, you just say, all right, we haven't got Charlie Dixon, a freshman running back, a carry yet. We're going to make sure he gets a carry right now. We're going to put him over who we think is our second, our number 2 guy. We're going to take our number 3 running back and just go make sure, because we think he can run over the other 11 guys on the defense on a quality.
Okay. So that's the argument now, Doug. So the argument now is,
I'm just asking. At what point
the argument
go
is,
back to the film and show me what point in the game. Because that's how a depth chart. That's the pecking order in the depth chart. There's only a few running backs out there.
You can't have both ways. You can't have both ways.
At what point?
You can't play a freshman. Okay.
What point in the first half was it appropriate to say we need to go out there and try to give Charlie Dixon the football?
What point in the first half was it appropriate to play a true freshman defensive tackle? We played him. We put him out there.
What did he do?
He got a sack.
He did. He played on the 3rd possession of the game. He went out. I watched him. I was super happy for Caleb Jones. That's my guy. We put him in on the 3rd possession.
He's a freshman.
And he picked up. He made a great sack on a play when we had a lot of pressure.
So we can't.
But he didn't roll out there the first play and say, you know what? We know we need help at D-line. We're gonna make sure Caleb Jones gets the 3rd snap of the game. Circumstances called for him to go on. His unit, his rotation, the 2nd rotation went in that possession when we had them in their own territory. That wasn't because we were planning to get Caleb in. It's because his unit went in. So they had a package, they had a game plan for him. Why can't we have run your
package?
twos out there? He's on the twos. You got to go put your twos out there at some point.
So you got a stable of running backs, and you can only play Tootin, and you can't put a package in.
Graves is your second guy, and Graves played the next amount of running back snaps. Did he not? Now you can argue if you think
he got one
number 2 or not.
He got one
carry.
carry.
One carry. Yeah.
I'm not saying that
he got one carry, but he was in for a lot more plays than that. He got it. We also tried to throw a screen pass to him on the central sideline.
Right. That's
true.
That's true. That's true.
There are only so many balls and plays to go around. Well, how do you think the receivers feel? How do you think Elijah Bullock feels? He got one opportunity, 1 or 2. Like that's part of playing football. But I guarantee you, as good as Charlie Dixon is, he was not the difference in that football game.
Okay. I'm not
disputing that. I want to see him get some carries. and the truth be told, it might be Charlie Dixon next week. That may be by design. That, hey, we know we're going to need Charlie Dixon is going to get his carries in these first 4 games. Would you argue that?
I would, because I don't know. There's no evidence. There is no evidence that he's going to be a factor because they didn't play him one down.
Was Bashal Tootin a factor last year in the first game? Or was he more of a factor in the run game in the second game? Because I know he didn't play a ton of running back snaps in the first game last year. We knew he had talent. He was returning kicks and playing in spot duty and coming in and getting in where he fit in. So Same thing with this year. Charlie Dixon is going to have his opportunity to make plays. I would have loved to see him, but I also know that circumstances in a football game. Okay. Do we know how well Charlie Dixon can pass block or how well Charlie Dixon can catch out the backfield? We were in a circumstances where we need the running back to be dynamic and be effective, whether that's running, catching the ball. We saw what Tootin could do late in the game, but I think we got in a position where we didn't necessarily have to abandon the run, but we had to lean more on what we could do to move the football and generate some points. And that's using Zach. One of the things we complained about is you said Fowler didn't have the mobility, all right? And we were able to use Zach Yeager's legs to our advantage at times, and he gave us a little bit of piece of something we didn't have. Now, granted, we did not score points. That it comes down to we didn't score points. If you'd have told me the defense was going to give up 1 touchdown in the second half, and technically they only gave up 2, well, they gave up 3, early on, but the punt block was a big part of that, right?
Right. So
coming out the second half, we lost the ball game 7-0, right? That's more so like what the score you would expect to see in the first half, a slugfest between 2 teams, and nobody could punch it in the end zone.
Right.
But they made plays, man. They made more plays than we made. They made game-winning plays. We didn't make the plays in the space. Now, I ain't cut up no film, man. And to be honest, if you ain't take a look at the film and not just your game experience, then it's a lot more to be seen in the film.
Well,
And every time you open up,
I got some film we can show. So Blue, finish your thought though, because we got some other people on here.
Yeah.
One more thing. Yeah, go ahead.
So yeah, so two quick things that I don't think we talked about. Okay. One was special teams play. The kick return, run into our own block and not tackle the kick return. The punt block, and I saw what Troy saw. They were trying to run. Another guy was trying to run on the field. I don't know if he made 11 or not, but there was definitely confusion on that punt block. And then another punt where I think we had the ball in midfield and we punted the ball 20 yards. Special teams need a lot of work.
Who is? I know we don't have somebody on roster who's listed as special teams coach, but who do you think it has their hand mostly? Is it Coach Washington? Is he the person who's?
No, it's
Seward, the running back coach.
It's running back coach is in charge of special. Yeah.
So Seward is crafting up the formations on the wedge and all that stuff. He's the person.
Right.
It looks like our same schemes. I mean, we still ran the same.
There you go. There you go. So who would have, intimate knowledge of our schemes? Any against any opposition that we face this year?
Well, I mean, it's pretty much the universal punt formation that most teams are using in this day and age anyway.
But if there's any wrinkle, Coach Cord and McCray, they would know it. They would.
If we're missing a guy, that makes it a lot harder to block the guys that are coming in. And then I also look to see, did we have any other issues putting the football the rest of the night? We didn't.
No, he got a good one. His first
he let a bomb go. So that's a plus for me. He let a bomb go. He has the ability. I think he's ranked second in the nation as of right now in terms of his putting.
I take that. All right, last one, Blue Hayes. Last one.
Fourth quarter clock management. We down 2 scores.
No sense of urgency.
It was not sense of urgency to get to run those plays.
And you know what? I don't give a damn if you got a true freshman. You got to have a 60-some-year-old coach who's saying go, 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 go. I didn't see the sideline urging him on. And I think he was still doing check with me. I'm like, no, we got to have a NASCAR package right here where we got to go. Like don't even look at the sideline. We got 10 plays, and this is all we're gonna worry about. I didn't see that. I'm like, we're down 2 scores. We're not down. This is not a game-winning drive here.
Right.
We still got to score, get the ball back, and 2-point conversion. And they just went methodic. Let's try it. If we don't get it, let's go back. Let's run the ball. I'm like, dude, are you still running the ball at this point? So yeah, Hayes, I agree with you on that. That was weird to me.
Yeah. All right, guys, appreciate the show. I still got my season tickets. I won't be at the rest of the games. We'll be all right.
All right.
That's right.
Let's kick. Go ahead.
You go tempo. I think if he's talking about the drive when it was less than 3-4 minutes left, that's one thing. But 6-7 minutes out, that's plenty of time. We were inside the red zone, inside the 10-yard line with a chance to score. 6-7 minutes out, you punch it in there, you're down 1 score. That's plenty of time to get a stop in the game-winning drive. So there's a time to really pick it up. It's usually within 4 minutes. That's why they call it your 4-minute offense when you're trying to pick up some points and get the ball moving. But we had opportunities. It wasn't like they were running away from the second half. We were right there. We just couldn't convert when we were down in the red zone. And the play when we threw the interception, we were definitely moving the ball at a good clip on that drive. And then later on in the game when we got inside the red zone and had to go for it on 4th down and came up short, those are 50-50 balls in the end zone that we're more than capable of coming up with. And if you score right there, then you got a little momentum and you're asking the defense to go out there and make a stop, which they did majority of the second half. Yeah. So it's all it's there,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's solid points, Doug. I have to admit that's a strong argument. So look, we got Damian, we got Clarence, and we're gonna bring both of you guys in. But real quick, let me go ahead and show some more video. Let's share another. This is one of the drives that did not result in points, but you kind of can see schematically what we were trying to accomplish at least. So let's go to here's a key drive.
Rather than later.
First down. Big opportunity, and Tootin nearly popped it, didn't he? That's a positive gain on first down.
But it was a penalty.
There's a flag on the play, though.
And this was a terrible holding call.
Number 55, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down. That's quarterbacks, but I don't think that was a hold.
That puts him way behind the sticks at 1st and 20. Yeager on the move, and he misfires badly. He was trying to throw it to Tootin. The Aggies need to get.
Real quick. That was a terrible holding call. And secondly,
terrible holding call. That was the worst call of the game.
Yeager, and I'm gonna break this down a little bit later. I got a football here. I'm gonna give y'all a quarterback tutorial, even if y'all don't want it. Y'all gonna get it. But Yeager is a lot better passer in the pocket, and he is dramatically worse when he leaves the pocket. And if he's thrown on the run, his percentage goes down like 80%. Okay, so I got some things. I got some reasons behind that. I'll explain that in detail. But just keep in mind, most of his big throws in this game came when he had a chance to just take a regular 3-step drop, step forward, and plant both feet. When you get him off his spot, he's not the same dude. So not saying he doesn't have the ability to be better, but that's something he's gonna have to work on. Because I saw a lot of his mechanics just kind of went out the window when he got mobile. We'll why.
To the 30. Tootin gets it, spins out of one tackle, and gets ahead of the 21-yard line. That's a pretty good run. Baker, the free safety,
left in the third
makes
quarter.
the play to run the ball tonight. 3rd and 9 now for Zach Yeager and the Aggies.
Big play here.
They're coming with a corner blitz. He gets out of there. Now there's a lot of green real estate. Look at Zach Yeager. Still going to the 40 and ahead to the 35-yard line. Flag on the play. And
now, that was what I call moxie, okay? And this is where, if you're going to have a debate about who should have played, who should have started, Yeager versus Fowler, if you are a Yeager guy, this is where you can win me over. I'm not sure if Fowler makes that play. And and not saying that Fowler didn't run the ball last year. He did. He's not just a statue. He can move. But Yeager looked like a running back out there. And he planted his foot, made 2 guys miss, not just one. He made 2 guys miss, and that was a big down. I mean, it was 3rd and 9. And I guess, he didn't see anything downfield. And that's what you want. What I say, Doug, what's the quarterback's job? Not to identify problems. Your job is to solve problems, right? That's what a quarterback has to do. And he solved the problem right there. It was 3rd and 9. Nobody was open. He had a pass rush coming at him. He eluded one guy and became that athlete that we heard about. That's a big time play. If we go ahead and win this game, that's going to be one of those top 5 plays you look back, you point back to, say, hey, that's when that was his coming out party. That's when the legend of Zach Yeager came to fruition. Obviously, that didn't happen, but it shows you a glimmer of what we have to look forward to. I thought, we talked about the bad. We talked about the bad, but let's give some props and some kudos to the good too.
As well downfield, tremendous run by Yeager.
He's going to open up. Block in the back. Offense, number 18. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still, first down.
So it's a 44-yard run, but that gets taken off the board. We have to see where the foul occurred. It does go as a first down, which is huge for the Aggies. And the ball will be back on the 44-yard line.
Yeah, what a nice move he put on Max Uren. I mean,
so we, instead of having it at their 44, we go back to our 44. So that's that's a big change of possession, and we're just not built to withstand those self-inflicted wounds. When we get off script, it's almost like last year. We got off script. We had one penalty, one negative play. Go ahead, sit out the punt team. And now. We were 3rd and 9, so we obviously made a big play, but can we do it twice? And we'll see.
But it's a great job by Yeager because he was running around in his own end zone just 2 or 3 plays ago. There's good pressure up front. Graves goes down. Cole Jones, the strong safety, he's been for loss. 2nd and 13 for him. Here's Yeager taking a shot, back shoulder throw, incomplete. It was intended for Sterling Burkhalter. He and Codrington, the coordinator for the Eagles, dials up now. They're going to stay in a zone on this 3rd and long. Yeager throwing back across his body, and it's incomplete. That was Leslie that was trying to keep it in play, and the Eagles defense gets the stop.
All right, so let's remove that. All right, so as you can see, that's what I was talking about when he has to move. And I got another drive we can dissect later. But we started good. He had that big play, but then things kind of broke down. We had the penalty, which shut us back, and then we had the negative running play, and that could have been, let's say we had that was 3rd quarter. We're down 8 points. That could have been a major score right there, right? First, before we go any further, let me get Damien here. You've been waiting forever. Damien, unmute yourself. There you go.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
My man. First of all, you need help with paying your Duke Power bill, let us know. We got a GoFundMe that we can set up. Help you out, man.
I got plenty of money, man. I own my own trucking company.
I hear you. Hey. You in the dark though, brother. So
I'm sitting. I'm watching Coach Gibbs and his boys. But if you need me to turn the light on, I will.
No, you fine. I'm just joking with you, bro. Yeah, I'm just joking. Hey, thank you so much for joining our show tonight. And I'm assuming you got some strong opinions about what happened Saturday night. So get off your chest.
Well, first of all, my son is Damien, the field goal snapper.
So, long snapper.
Yeah.
I met you. I met you at the spring game. I had the pleasure of meeting you at the spring game.
Well, Doug, I appreciate that, but I appreciate the guys, but I'm not a sugarcoater.
Okay.
Andrew hit that 49-yarder, but Damien
snapped.
That was high. It's been a little bit lower, but
that was his first college game, wasn't
it? Yes, in action, yes.
Hey,
I saw him here and kudos to that.
They was pushing his head. They was pushing on him too. Not too long after that, man. He got to get his head up after that. He's not as protected as high school. It looks like now they ain't supposed to stay off the snapper, but after he snapped it, they were right up on him, man. So he did a good job, man.
Yeah, he got cleated on that one, but he all right. But to what you guys were wondering, I talked to Jermaine after the game.
McDaniel.
And, Damien, he came down to my tailgate and he the one told me, broke the news to me. They were told Friday that they were ineligible. Right. Okay.
Now look, before you get there, I want all the Aggie Nation to understand, that glass house thing, because I know a lot of people on our end were making fun of FAMU and talking about their compliance and how is it possible to be having guys, ineligible that close to the season. And so it turned around and affected us. So we got two guys who were ineligible. Wow. Let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So after the game, Jermaine came down and I asked him, I said, man, what happened? He said that they messed up his grad classes in the registrar's office or something. And it kicked, and NCAA ruled him ineligible for the next 4 games. I mean, he had a smile on his face, but he was also upset.
So that's why, and I was wondering about the milkman. I call him the milkman because he's always missing in the beginning of the year, but it's not his fault, it seems like. And Coach Washington kind of covered for him because I thought he was hurt, and so that's better. I'm glad he's not trying to recover from an injury. He's got some paperwork stuff to get run. Earl, we got if that's the case, I'm just hearing from your mouth. I haven't verified this, but if that's the case, then Earl, that's 2 because we had the women's track and field compliance thing, paperwork, whatever, and now we got our star player, so we got to get on top of this stuff. I'm not pointing fingers, but I'm pointing fingers. Earl Hilton, let's fix this, okay?
With my, I ain't never coached above middle school, but everything I've coached, we turn out pretty good.
All right, there you go.
I've been around a while. I do a lot with camp linemen and all of that stuff.
Yes.
And I'm trying to figure out why our linemen play toe to toe. We don't have no type of spacing in our line. Why?
You're talking about offensive line.
Yes. I don't understand that. And we never attacked the middle of the field last night with our receivers.
Hey, Damien, you were with me in the stands at the spring game where they made a concerted effort to throw to the middle of the field, and I thought, hey, we turn over a new leaf. We throwing to the tight end. We're throwing dig routes, and I didn't see any of that. Maybe it's, and like Doug says, maybe it's because Central played a too high safety look, which they didn't just load the box and play cover 3. They had too high safety. Maybe that changed some of the stuff that we saw. But
they had too high safety though. You get in behind that linebacker all night long and make them come out.
There's always a gap.
I'm just trying to figure it out myself, but I just did not understand how we go. And that's the thing, Doug. Okay, how do we go from the spring game where we have turned it over to same old. And
Well, you have your differences in QBs. You have Yeager who can move a little better, but in my opinion, I think Brick Handler is a better studier who's going to take his third and fourth option, and he can also move. But I'll make my last point. When you look at the film on the punt block, we talked about this last night as well, because I know Andrew and Elliott and all of those guys, because
great guys.
The punt was supposed to go up the right side. The snap was snapped to the left, and it was wobbly, and he didn't field it good. So when you slow it down and look at it, you'll see what I'm talking about.
So it was a perfect storm of issues.
Yeah. Gotcha. So the timing was messed up, and that's why he was so much closer to the line to try to get it off. So, I mean, and been doing the specialist stuff for the last few years. I look at all of those.
They brought some pressure on that side too. Julian Marnell, he had about 3 or 4 guys in his face. They didn't quite. Well, they overloaded.
The snap was to the pressure side when it should have been to the other side. Yeah. So just all of those things, that timing on those snaps, if it's 1 second off, it's trouble. So
Hey, first of all, thank you so much for raising an awesome son, because I think he's going to be a major factor for us for the next 4 years, man. And we had John Davis, who was a great long snapper, and I don't think we're going to miss a beat with your son there. I'm sure you just his knowledge of the game, because you're his dad, is going to be a great factor. Thank you also for giving a little bit of perspective on behind the scenes with McDaniels. And you said it's McDaniels, and who else was it?
However you pronounce that name,
Forche.
Robert Forche.
Because he's a grad student too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's a grad. Is he a grad? Because I thought he was. Yeah. Okay. I know he transferred from South Carolina, but South Carolina State.
No. His dad played at South Carolina State. He's from Virginia Tech.
He's from Virginia Tech. His dad plays. Yeah. But yeah. So that's a good perspective too, because sometimes you want to say, there's always some crazy rumor, and we haven't verified that it's a compliance issue. Maybe he'll be back tomorrow. Whatever.
I know you're gonna dig into it.
Yeah, but it gives us something. It gives us some kind of direction. Now we can ask some questions.
Yeah.
All right.
He told me himself, man. So
Well, if he said it, he probably knows better than anybody else. All right, Damien. Hey,
I went 2 shades in the wind on that moonshine because I had enough of it yesterday.
Hey, so did you have a good time though? But outside of the outcome, did you have a?
Listen, bro, I'm from West Virginia, born and raised.
Wow. Okay.
And that's all we do is have a good time.
I hear you. You got to. Life is too short. Life is too short, man.
Yeah, man. Too old for that. I'm 45 years old. I'm too old for that craziness.
I hear you. I thank you so much, though, man. We'll talk
chat later.
Y'all hit me up anytime, man. I'm always around.
Yeah. All right, we'll do.
Appreciate you guys.
All
right. Appreciate it.
My man, Damien. Okay.
Well, I will say this. You show me a school in the country that doesn't have a run-in with compliance. That's why you have compliance officers, and that person is there in place to address issues that nobody else wants to touch, right? And nobody else wants to be on top of, because it can get tricky. You can be doing your job and still have some things that go unnoticed. So hopefully it's not a major issue. Hopefully it's something that, we're able to clear up and move forward from. But like we said, this isn't anything new to college football or college athletics. Like, those things come up.
Yeah, I was just hoping that we could escape. I was like, well, that's one thing about one thing about A&T, one thing about the Hilton administration. We ain't gonna be out here looking crazy. And
that's why I don't even blink an eye at it, because if that's the case, I don't have to worry about it not getting taken care of or getting addressed. Right. There are other people that have structural issues where they can't address it.
Right.
We'll get it addressed. If it's addressing, it's gonna get figured out. So
all right. Hey, so Clarence, hold tight. I want to talk to you about the band, so I don't want to just rush your time. So just give me a second. Let me bring in T. Will real quick. T. Will, are you there? Oh, he's not there anymore. Okay. So Clarence, I guess don't. Hey, Troy, you want to come back? Oh, that's T. Will. Hold on. T. Will. I swear to
Yeah.
God, y'all in some dark alleys or whatever. Can
you
you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you pretty good. All right,
Yeah, I'm
so
sorry. I just got back in from Charlotte and I had to go walk the dog.
no problem. I can dig it. I can dig it, man. All right, so look here, T. Will. You say you just got back in from Charlotte?
Yeah, I had to visit family while I was down and go pick up the dog and just got in and had to take her for a walk. So I was like, man, I got to jump on.
You got to jump on. But check this out. So you're on here now, man. Come on, get off your chest, man. I can tell in your voice that there's some things you want to talk about. So what was your overall takeaway from yesterday?
Honestly, the experience in Charlotte was good, but just more importantly, to talk about the game.
Yeah.
I really don't think either team really looked that good. I can't walk away and say Central was actually a better team. They didn't really show me anything. I wasn't wowed by anything by what they did. I think we shot ourselves in the foot. Couple things, just observations from the game.
Yeah.
I don't think we had the focus or the energy to start the game off. Another thing that I think changed the game, again, the unbalance on the offense. Almost 50 some pass attempts to barely running the ball. I think that played a factor.
T. Will, tell me if I'm wrong, and Craig, you let me know if I'm wrong here too. Is that the recipe for doing chicken? When we talk about doing chicken, it's throwing the ball 70% more than you run the ball. Is that chicken? Because I thought that the chicken recipe I understood was a little bit different than that.
We had 48 pass attempts. I think it's the second most pass attempts in A&T history.
That's the new flavor. That's that new spicy that, you know.
Well, especially going into the season, and you hear about these three backs that you have. You know, of course, Tootin, we heard about him, then Graves, and then I think I only saw Charlie Dixon on the field on special teams, and I'm like, okay, well, if he got these horses, and we got three downs, I mean, put these horses in there. Let's try to pick up a first down running the ball, and we can't say that Central stopped the run because we didn't run the ball. So
exactly.
And another thing
I just showed you a clip where you saw the burst from Tootin. I mean, he was running hard. He didn't have a lot of opportunities to really get some rhythm, but it wasn't like he was limping. It wasn't like last year where we saw Jermaine Martin looking half a shell of himself. This was a full. This was a Bashal Tootin at full strength, and we just couldn't get him going.
Yeah, and like I said, we didn't. So I really don't know what to expect of our running game because we just didn't see it. And just to say that we have three studs on the roster, and one of them you don't even see at all, and then the other one gets one touch. So that was one of the issues right there for me. The second thing is the quarterback play, and I'm gonna be. I have to be honest. I mean, I'm pretty sure Yeager's a great kid,
right?
And I hope he progresses. But I know it's just been one game and stuff. But from what I've seen, he doesn't go through his reads. 90% of the pass plays were going to the right side. And when he took his drop, you knew exactly where the ball was going. It was okay, let me look right, let me look left. You know exactly where the ball was going. And if I'm a defense, I'm just going to drop my linebackers and just sit underneath and just pick it off all day long.
Just watch his eyes. Just watch his eyes.
Yeah.
If you're a linebacker or safety, you can literally watch his eyes. He will take you to the receiver.
Yeah, and I'll make two more points. And another thing too, I think changed the game, the punt block. And I think a lot of people have commented on it and said it. But you can see it coming from a mile away. And I don't know everything about football, and I don't know how far you have to be lined up. But it seemed to me that the punter was basically behind the center snapping the ball, and he just didn't have enough room. Even if it was a bad snap, he just didn't have enough room to clear the ball. Like, I mean, that was just obvious. I mean, people in the stands right beside me were calling out, this is about to be blocked. And it was just based off the lineman. And the snap could have been off, it could have been bad, but I think that kind of changed the projection of the game as well. And then the last thing I'll say, I just think like defense, because I'm a defensive coach, just looking at our rotation, and I coached the D line, and this is just Pop Warner football. I just didn't see it was very humid last night, more than what I expected. And I think our guys got tired, and I just didn't see a good rotation with that.
You know why? You know why, too? I can answer that question for you. You know why? We don't have there's nobody to rotate. We are light. Okay.
Well, we got from what I understand, we got one of the freshmen got in, Caleb. He did get a sack. Looks like he needs to get in a little bit more better shape and conditioning. But he played. But then we got the kid out of Dudley.
No, you cannot start focusing and factoring in true freshmen to be I can't. That's not fair to them. If a kid was in high school,
why not? We played Jacob Roberts played last year. Tyler King played.
If a kid was in high school last year, he should not.
Hear me out. Okay. But I'm saying
that's why you come
our first game of the year. Basically, we have a 2-man rotation. You don't have Jermaine. Jermaine, from what I understand, he didn't play. He's a starter and whatnot. And reason why I'm saying it is, okay, for 1 or 2 plays, put them young guys out there just to go hard one play, get them off the field, just to give our guys some rest. It's a humid night and stuff. You never know what can happen. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to come in and play the whole game, but put them in at some point. Because at one point I saw 91, I think J-Rob coming in to play defensive tackle.
Play tackle. So we using defensive ends. We're so short. And
Janoris has played tackle in previous games before. It wasn't his first time playing tackle.
But he played tackle last year. But my whole point is,
and then what I'm saying is, and then to find out is, okay, we traveled down, and this is something that we got to get better in. We traveled down with 2 defensive ends. If this is true about the ineligible part, and we got kids that could have maybe came into the game, even if they come in. This is my point. They could be a freshman, they could be a sophomore. One play could change the game. That's all I'm saying. One play could change the game. And stuff. So
I agree. I agree.
That's just a bad look on our part, and hopefully it's not correct or not true. But like I said from the beginning, neither team looked good for me. I can't say Central is. I mean, they won, but I can't say that Central just wowed me. It was nothing spectacular about what they done. Just to be honest with
you. We'll find out in that next game. Craig. This is my point. And thanks, T. Will. Thanks, T. Will, for joining us, man. And we'll catch you next time, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, and Doug, you gonna argue again. I'm about to learn how to fight. I'm gonna beat you up, Doug, because I'm upset with your comments. But Craig, I think I'm gonna make a statement that nobody's gonna like, but I just think we dropped the ball in recruiting. I think we knew that we had a deficiency at that defensive tackle. I've been saying it ad nauseum, and I don't think we did enough job in the offseason to fill it.
Where did that hurt us yesterday? Now, if you want to argue that, Shamar, as much as we talked about that, Shamari Wallace and Kafka Kaba played good games yesterday. They were active, aggressive. They were flying around, jumping over piles.
I'm gonna tell you. Let me say this. Let me say this. I went back and looked at that game again this morning. Yeah. And I think the defensive tackles did their job. All 4 of them that we rotated in there last night.
They were serviceable, but we did not.
No, they did their job. They did their job. I mean, they got after them. They stopped the run. That's what those 2 inside tackles are supposed to do. They plugged up the middle, and they moved laterally down the line from left to right and left. They did what they were supposed to do, and both of those freshmen played, and they played up to expectations for what they were when they came out of high school. They're ready to go. So I don't have a problem about playing freshmen. I think I've always been a proponent. Why the hell did you recruit them if you're not going to play them? Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
But at least,
I'm sure Caleb Jones
when they show they can physically hold their own against guys who are 2, 3, sometimes 4 years older than them. If they have proven that they can hold their own against those guys in practice, give them a shot. And that's what you got to. You can't see the thing about saying I don't trust freshmen. I don't trust freshmen. It's just as bad as those coaches who are always bound to seniors, no matter what their performance level is, no matter what their attitude is. They may not be the best person. They may not be the best person at that position. May not be the best player at that position, but we're gonna play them anyway because I got senior loyalty. That's fine.
Right.
But at some point in time, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. It really is. It really is. You got to play them.
But
if they can play, you got to put them out on the field.
But my whole thing is give these guys at least a year with, Coach Ali. Get them some grown man density of their bones.
Caleb is 6'1", 315, and I don't want him to lose any weight. He's a physical specimen. Like, we recruited him to be the guy that he was yesterday, right? And the fact that he got out there and got pressure, like when he decided to bull rush, when we needed him to bull rush, I saw him bull rush, and I was pleased with it.
They were forced to double team him. They were forced to double team him. Every play they had to double team him. They could not handle him one-on-one.
They had to design just like us, for them to get a run game started. They had to design quarterback runs where they doubled Caleb on one of the plays and led with the running back who came out of the backfield, never even turned around looking for a pass. His job was to go block the linebacker. So they had trouble establishing the run as well. Again, they're set up like we're set up. And
69 yards or 62 yards rushing, I think is what they ended up with. So we did a job as far as the running game is concerned.
The attempts were off, but in terms of the rush yards and stuff, that stuff kind of balanced out. And ours was typically, on two big plays, running wise, and then the long pass play. But hey, those guys got after it up front, and like you said, Phil, that's one of the areas you had an eye on, and I had the spotlight on Carson Kaba and Shamar Wallace, and they played hard, and only bad spot we had to offset in personal foul penalties. But you go back and look at the film, and you see guys running, jumping in on fouls, not late, but to and through the whistle. And I'm like, man, what linebacker was that? And I look up, and it's Shamar Wallace flipping over the foul. It's Carson Kaba, coming in like a madman. Yeah. And those were the guys I saw, getting on guys and hyping guys up and trying to play with that pride and tradition that Lamar was talking about.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to come across like I'm saying that our starting D tackles were chopped liver. No, they gave a great job, a great effort. They made plays, like you said. They held their own in the stat category. I'm just saying, I wish they had more help. I wish they had a 3-man rotation at the 1 and the 3 technique with some serious, proven transfers, so they wouldn't have to throw some of these freshmen into the fire. But I'm not arguing that point. Those guys played well.
He was the 6A Defensive Player of the Year, and to me, that's the level that shows that our recruiting is moving in the right direction. When you can go get a guy that's got high accolades, a guy that you wanted, and he can come in there and play his first game. That's why I went to A&T. I went so that I could have a chance to play.
Yeah.
Classic in Durham, in Raleigh, first game of the season. So for Caleb, I saw when he came out, for the game, man, I saw him, I called his name, turned around, gave him the strong arm. Let's go. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Monte. He got to be our number 1 punt returner, fresh out the gate, right? We looked on film and saw a guy like, man, that guy could be dynamic at punt returner, and so I was happy to see that he passed my eye test and the coach's test, because we had him out there for the first punt return, a true freshman. That shows that he's got the ability, and they think he has the ability to be an impact player right now. And so for a position where we struggled to field the ball 2 years ago, to go from that to getting a guy that is a known difference maker with the ball in his hands, and we haven't seen it yet, but he could be the next Chris Garden.
Yeah.
Chris Garden played as a freshman. We had plenty of success with guys playing as true freshmen and stepping in and being playmakers.
Yeah.
So,
and my only argument, I don't want to belabor the point. My only argument is that I just think that offensive line, defensive line is a little bit different animal than a skill position. But we can debate that later. But go ahead.
Come from that defensive line. I think you're gonna see some more young guys getting their rhythm as time goes on. Because you're right, we're gonna need them. But hey, everybody wants the ultimate D line, right? Everybody wants the Alabama or Georgia.
Yeah, I want it. The Georgia, Clemson. All right,
country that wouldn't take some D line right now, right?
Right. All right, let's change gears real quick. We got Clarence. We've been waiting forever. Clarence.
Hello.
I know you got some strong thoughts on everything, but first and foremost, okay. I got to get your take on halftime in the 5th quarter. Get from a Martian band's perspective. How did Saturday turn out?
Okay, first of all, I went to the rehearsal that the Blue and Gold Marching Machine had at South Point High School at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I went there. And let me just say this: I rolled up at 1:30. They were supposed to. The bus didn't show up, and band didn't show up till 2. I rolled there at 1:30. I couldn't get a parking lot at South Point High School parking stadium. It was jam packed, and I rolled in there, and the home side of the stadium was packed, and there was only a few of us. The rest of them, and so. And to answer your question, this was a recruiting trip. So anyway, I went to that. Yeah. They rehearsed, they practiced their pregame and halftime show. But and I'm tell you what, I sat there and I sweated like a pig, brother. And those kids I had shorts and a t-shirt on, and those kids had on the uniforms, and I kept thinking, they need scholarships. I mean, this is ridiculous. They need money to be standing out there in that heat in those damn uniforms. So anyway, and true confession, I left right after halftime.
Oh, so you didn't stay for the 5th?
Nah, I didn't stay for the third quarter. I'd seen enough. I knew how that show was going to end. So anyway,
it did kind of feel, and Doug, we said this, like you said, you talked about Furman game. I said FAMU 2018. It just felt kind of like deja vu, like I just felt like I've seen this movie before. And I guess you were right.
Well, let me also say, I'm speaking as an unaware Aggie fan. I don't want to. I'm not getting into I coach this or getting into the X's and O's. And I had to laugh. I thought, you guys don't know how old I am, but I actually played my freshman year in high school with a leather helmet with no face mask. I swear to goodness. Yes, that's right.
Wow.
and I played offensive line. Yes, I did. Okay. So I'm not giving you any fixes. I'm not going to give you any suggestions on what we ought to do. I'm just going to give you from a fan's standpoint, because I had them all around me, our viewpoint of the game. Number one, NCCU had a better game plan as far as I was concerned, and they executed it. I mean, we might have had a great game plan. We just didn't seem to execute it. Now, I don't know what was the reason, but NCCU, they looked like they said, okay, this is what we're going to do, and they just kept doing it, and it was working. What we were doing wasn't working. So once again, I'm not getting into X's and O's or whether it was talent or coaching or whatever, but that was it. On offense, we run one of the most boring offensive schemes I've ever seen. I mean, and I wrote down here, look out, here we come. We don't have any misdirections or anything else. The old Bill Hayes.
Nothing exotic, no eye candy. Like I said, it doesn't stress. To me, it doesn't stress the defense mentally.
Yeah.
Like we're saying our Joes are going to, beat your Jimmies, right?
That's
it. But it's like we're just so much hubris that we just almost feel it's beneath us to use any type of cleverness. So
I'm gonna go back to that's just that we've always only Bill Hayes that I remember used to run those kind of he have a back going off this way and then the play would go that way.
Right.
But everybody else seems to we just gonna hand the ball off to the back up there, and that back's there's gonna be a hole, and that back's gonna scoot through, and we got the kind of backs that can turn that into yardage. So it didn't seem to work the other night. And once again, the defense seemed to be aware of that's what we were going to do, and they took care of that. Okay. Second thing I wrote down here was we believe in bombs away. We were going to get those long touchdown passes on you, and Central kept dinking and dunking us. I mean, they were hitting those little short things across the center, and they just kept. And I was like, that's not what we need to be doing. But obviously, that's not in our game plan. Defense, all I can say is, and that's why I left the game, was I watched the first. Well, I sat through the games last year. I've seen this movie before. When we came out and Central had the ball the first series, and they went back to moving the ball like they were in the first half, I said, hey, We didn't figure it out in the locker room. We haven't figured out how to stop this. And so why waste around? I got, I can go home. So I went home. So we didn't, the defensive line, and Craig has watched the game again. I didn't sense that we got a lot of penetration coming up in front. We didn't get their quarterback off the spot all the time.
So Clarence and Doug, tell me if I'm wrong. Craig, tell me if I'm wrong. I thought that a lot of times we got penetrations by doing stunts. We played a little twist with our defensive tackles. I didn't see just straight beating that. I didn't see our nose and that 3 technique just beating those tackles man to man, is going vertical like you see. Obviously Georgia, Alabama.
A lot of times. You still got to maintain your gap control, right? So you try to apply pressure without getting outside of your defensive lane. And you're right, we do apply a lot of pressure with stunts and twists, and we always have, right? When you're undersized, that's how you kind of undersized to a certain extent. But
Cord made a living off of that.
That's right, and that's the kind of defensive player he was. He was an undersized defensive lineman, but had a lot of success creating penetration. Right, and there were plenty of plays when we got back there, run plays too, and blew it up before it had a chance to really develop. We talk about Janoris Robinson. He got in there. He had, like you said, he had the offsides penalties. But there were plays, and the announcer talked about it when, boom, as soon as the ball was snapped, we were on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now, they're not defensive tackle-wise, the few times when, I won't say that we got pressure, but a lot of times you can be taken advantage of or get pushed out of position by being ultra aggressive. So a few of their successful runs, they were able to kind of coax us upfield or kind of turn us to the side, and then the quarterback's getting led up the field by the running back. So, pressure can look different sometimes, and I'm a New England Patriot fan. I always say, they always try to maintain gap pressure when they rush, right? If you got a mobile quarterback, the last thing you want to do is get collapsed down inside. And I know Harrell is a guy that gets upfield and creates a lot of issues.
Yeah.
But as an undersized guy sometimes, or as a guy that's not, J.J. Watt or Jadeveon Clowney, you can get, especially if the tackle's got his paws on, you can hold you a little bit. You can get twisted, turned, slung around, and now you've created a big gap or some big space. So I thought our guys did a good job of providing pressure up the middle through the pocket. It's not always Aaron Donald pressure, but we did see Caleb Jones and some other guys when we decided, hey, we need to push the pocket back. We were able to do that sometimes, but give Central's quarterback some credit. He was ready to step up, make some plays, and just like Zach Yeager did.
Davis Richard is a good quarterback.
Oh yeah.
Richard is an excellent quarterback. Excellent quarterback.
Which brings me to my last football point, which is we're gonna see some good quarterbacks in the next few weeks. And that's
what? We're gonna see in North Dakota State. We're gonna see him in Duke, and South Carolina State. Yeah.
South Carolina State. I told you, I've been on social media today, and I said the only good news with South Carolina State is that Buddy will have some kind of a mental hiccup, and he might make a mistake and let us win. But other than that, if they come in there,
remember last year he went for the fake extra point, and that was the
like I said, every year he manages to figure out some way to do something. I'm just saying, But anyway, so I went through the schedule again today to try to figure out who we gonna beat. And let me tell you what, one of the things I put on Blue Death Valley tonight is Campbell College University right now.
Yeah,
is they're getting buses together to bring their students up to our homecoming to watch this butt whipping they're gonna put on.
Okay, you know what? So I'll say this though. I'll say styles make fights, and things change from week to week. Because Doug, check this out. Everybody who saw FAMU play Carolina last week, they felt like, this is going to be a tough task for JSU. FAMU's a real
No, I didn't.
Really?
I didn't.
So the way FAMU's quarterback played against Carolina, you didn't think that he was going to be a difference maker?
Well, now you got game film on him. I mean, you saw Carolina go out there and give FAMU gave Carolina their best shot. Yeah. You saw exactly what they do offensively. And then you're able to put it down and break it down and put a game plan together. Jackson State, FAMU wasn't able to make a game plan off what they knew Jackson State was going to do, right? That makes a difference. You're just going out there.
And
Watch the film from last year.
Carolina never worried about that game. They fought most of that game with one hand tied behind their back. And when they decided enough of this crap, they took their other hand up and said, "Take this." So I didn't think FAMU was going to do anything at Jackson State. Now, had they played a better game, I might have had some questions about prime time, but other than that, I didn't.
Well,
I knew this.
We just saw Appalachian State run the score up on Carolina. That says more about Carolina's defense.
Good.
They're not world beaters, right? Gene Chiz.
How you get 40 points in the fourth quarter? I mean, that is
because I say, when it's time to cut it loose and drop back and play backyard football, that's when you see every team in America have success.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Yeah, a lot of holes.
So what do you want to know about the band, man? Look, I wouldn't worry about the band. I saw.
Did we win? Did we win? Did we blow them out the water?
Come on, wait a
minute. No, what? Clarence, I was in the press box. I was on the sideline, and then I had to go to the press box because they had some food there, and so I couldn't really hear the true reception and everything. So, but it was a no contest, right? We beat the
It's never a contest.
It's never a contest.
Here is the thing. When your team is looking like they pimp slapping the other team, you think everything about your organization is great. So the Central fans were really excited about their band too because they were beating us in football. Come on, but that like I told somebody, I said it was never a contest, and there are high schools that got better instrumentation than they got.
Wow.
Yeah.
But when you got a winning football team,
it makes it sound better now. It sound better. Yeah.
Ice cream tastes cold, brother.
Hey, but what about that brother who did the national anthem?
We got one of those, didn't we?
He ain't been on The Voice. That's what I was telling people.
Really.
Right, but he ain't been on The Voice.
So we can't give nobody no credit. So
we give nobody. No. I'm
it's
sorry.
Central, man.
It's
Central.
Give me Victor.
This is Central.
Hey, Clarence. Last thing, give us some inside baseball here. What is going to be the first theme show this year? Because I know we always do like a Katy Perry show. So do we have a theme show?
Let me explain something to you.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went to Dr. Ruff several years ago, and I said, Doc, you need to promote these shows before the shows.
Yes.
You need to let people know this is going to be the Katy Perry show, or this is going to be, and that ain't the way he operates. And I'm gonna tell you right now, there's two people I'm not gonna upset on A&T's campus: Chancellor Martin, and Dr. Rupp. Because one, I like coming to the football games. I don't want to be banned. I love that. And I like walking into the band room after the game's over and saying hello to Doug's sister and stuff. So I'm not going to. No, you will never get that out of me. Never.
So we just got to wait for this.
Show up and be surprised.
Yeah. How about their first couple performances this year? First three performances that they'll have will all be in NFL stadiums. So they did Houston, they did
Dallas,
Charlotte, and then they're going to Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah. And the thing I like about
not
Detroit,
to mention Orlando. I don't know if y'all heard much about Orlando yet, but they'll be marching in parade in Orlando for HBCU week. I don't have all the details, but it's supposed to be going down in October.
The thing I like about playing up in Detroit is the fact that it's a dome. And so they'll be indoors and it'll be cool. They'll be in that air conditioner because they need a break, man. They will definitely need a break coming up. Yeah. And also, by the way, this is what I tried to explain. I took my neighbor over to our rehearsal at South Point yesterday. Yeah. And I explained to him, most people don't understand this. We change our show every week.
Yeah,
that's a brand. If you go back and look at what we did in Houston and then what we did yesterday, totally different, and it'll be totally different probably when we go to Detroit. That takes a lot of work.
It sounds like it. I can imagine. I could imagine. Yeah.
So we're working on getting this this infrastructure built so we can collect some scholarship money, but that's another story.
You don't talk. Hey, that's a guy who's who actively working against you. And his name is Aggie 2039. He's mad. He's mad about any type of funding going to the band. He says that. So don't tell. I don't know why he's.
What I tell people all the time is, it's not going to the band. It's going to A&T students who major in stuff other than band. So what's the deal? It's like saying, you know, I mean, I got a friend that in Atlanta keeps telling me, Clarence, we don't need to give scholarship to more piccolo players. And I say, but how about somebody that's majoring in criminal justice? Do you think that's a good degree? So these are students. Right. They are not band students. So anyway.
All right.
So, all right. I'm out of here.
So thank you so much, Clarence.
Stuff to Doug, hang in there.
Yes, sir. I'm hanging, man. I'm hanging.
But a footnote, y'all do need to start trying to figure out how much it's going to cost to buy Coach Washington's contract out.
All right. So we, you know, that's a good segue. All right, Clarence, we're gonna let you go.
All
right. Troy, come in here real quick. So I want you to listen to this, because somebody was on Twitter, Craig, and they were talking about, we gotta buy out Coach Washington's contract. So let me read y'all the particulars here real quick, all right? Because I got it in front of me. All right. This was signed on effective September 1st, 2021, right? And he has expressly, subject to the approvals, whatever, Coach Washington's head coach of football for terms of 4 years, beginning September 1st, 2021, and ending on August 30th, 2025. So he ain't going nowhere into 2025. We ain't got no money to buy him out. So that's a moot point. We stop talking about it. It ain't happening. We are married to Mr. Sam Washington for the next 2 years. And that's just the facts, Jack. T-Roy, you good with that? Are you trying to find some money to you trying to open up a hedge fund so you can buy out 2 years of contracts, or you think we should ride out what we got?
I'm going for looking for OC first.
So you totally are you off of the Barnett bandwagon.
Well, let me say this. Coach Washington has admitted publicly that, you know, offense isn't his thing, and he basically leaves it up to Coach Barnett.
He defers.
I think if we go back to Hester, and I've seen some other OCs that are a little more dynamic, and you know, they do a bunch of more different things. Frankly, I think we saw some of that in the Big South last year. That we're a bit vanilla, and so, and matter of fact, I was telling one of my boys, Coach Barnett probably looked good in the MEAC because we out talented people. But now that we are, you know, facing maybe some more schematically astute coaches, it ain't looking so good. Because it looks kind of vanilla. You know, we're gonna line up like in the RPO. We're gonna hand the ball off, and every now and then our quarterback will run.
Craig, you agree with that? You agree with that, Craig? Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, we are predictable. Athletes. I would like to see us do some variations in our run game. I agree with you on that run game, on the run game piece especially. We're you can see it coming, and most of what we do, a lot of what we're doing in the run game is very slow to develop, and it gives people, it especially gives linebackers and those an occasional safety that. I noticed that the other night. Occasional safety would read that, and because the play was a double pull, it made it fairly easy to chase that down and flood the gap. So yeah, I think you probably are too vanilla.
All right, so guys, hold tight, Troy. I want to show y'all. So I'm gonna bring another clip in here. We can talk about this offense a little bit more, and Doug, you can look at this. Let's see.
Yeah. So why are you bringing that up?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing that up? Go ahead, Craig.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing I will say about the run game, and we touched on it a little, just barely scratched the surface on it. Ran the ball 8 times. You either got to
right.
yeah. Well, you either got to when you're running the football. If you're going if running the football is going to be the backbone of your offense, you have got to commit to the run. You cannot go and we've run it 5 times. We picked up 7 yards, 8 yards. I'm going to go start airing it out. I understand you want to bat people up off the line of scrimmage, get them out of the box, and that's fine. But you can do that. You can do what Central did. We were doing the same thing to Central, and what Central did was take the 5 yard, 6 yard, the 7 yard of easy open pass routes, and that's how they kept the chains moving. They didn't break it off in big, huge chunks. They nickeled and dimed their way all the way down the field, and then we helped them out with an occasional penalty or two. But you don't have to hit the home run in order to have an effective pass game. I said last year, at the end of last year, the one thing that A&T really needed to do in the offseason was master the short passing game, because teams that master the short passing game will rarely ever be behind on the sticks. They're always going to be in second and short or third and short, and that's what Central did last night, and that was the key to the ball game, really.
And listen, when you are second and short and you are third and short, the possibilities are endless. You
can go start looking for opportunities to hit the home run.
The defense
looking to hit the home run out of the box, or to bat people up, you're throwing away a down.
Let me show our second drive here, and this kind of was indicative of some things we talked about.
We're in the Queen City, right? So let's give some love to a Monarch there at the center position.
From the 22, key drive. Yeager starts with a throw, delivers it right on the money to Leslie. That's what the Aggies needed. A big gain out to the 49-yard line. Cole Jones makes the tackle. 27-yard gain. Just shy of midfield now for Zach. Here is Tootin, and he spins to the 50-yard line. It'll be second down. Max, it's a 2 or 3 possession at most game for A&T, doesn't it?
It does.
Fake to the left, throw back to the right. Beautifully set up screen, and here we go. Leslie on the move.
Hey, and that play right there to me was one to play. Hey, Troy, you got Matlock on the background. The TV, turn that down a little bit.
Oh, that's my daughter.
Okay,
my daughter's home from school.
Okay, I got you. Hey, but listen, that if he didn't get walked down right there, and I think that the pulling tackle just missed him. I think he just missed that block. But if he does not get walked down, and he scores, then we still got a different ball game, and we ended up not scoring on this.
Oh, drive. He sold that one beautifully, didn't he? Codrington finally made the tackle.
I love it when big guys get out and run.
31 yards on the game.
That's a tunnel screen where you're bringing the outside receiver back to the inside, but watch the offensive line, though. Here they come looking for work. Now you got big guys blocking little guys and getting in the way. That's all you really got to do.
This is the first time in the game A&T's been in the red zone all night long.
Wow.
Watch this. Next play.
Eagles on the move to the air again. It's intercepted. The game's first turnover. Khalil Baker jumps in front of the route, and the Eagles will take over.
All right,
that was the backbreaker. That was the backbreaker.
And Doug, we talked about it. So are you back there? You back? Okay, good. Okay. So we talked about it, Doug. We moved the ball up until that red zone and shoot ourselves in the foot. That was indicative. Okay, so real quick before you chime in, go ahead, Doug.
We saw everything that anybody had talked about. You saw a quick pass out to the flats. You saw trying to establish the run game.
Yes.
2nd and 9 is not the time to try to run a second run play, right? 2nd and 9 is not the time to bring in Charlie Dixon and try to pound him for another run play. We did a short passing play that is the same as a run play. a 3-yard route out there is just like running a toss sweep, right?
Right.
So then we got down inside the red zone. We had an RPO call, which was designed to attack where? The middle of the football field. And Central made a good play and brought 2 guys off the edge. We couldn't block them both. Zach did his job of letting the ball go because if he hands it off, they got 2 guys there. He did his job. He just threw the ball behind the receiver, which was due to the pressure. And what I would say to the quarterback is, hey, I need you to stand in there a second longer, knowing you're going to get hit in the mouth and deliver that football a yard in front of that receiver, not a yard behind, right? Those are one of the things I tell you about my quarterbacks. I like a guy that's going to stand in there and get hit in the mouth, right? It's coming. He's athletic enough to make that throw going away, but he just made it, and it went behind him instead of in front of him. Huge play in the ball game. Now, no one is talking about play call selection, offensive coordinator call. If we go in and score on either the 2 plays that we had a chance to score on, that play call, when we didn't score with Zach Leslie, we had 3 offensive linemen out there escorting Zach Leslie to the end zone. It just so happened the Central guy made a great play and ran up from behind the outside, unseen by the tackle, and made a touchdown saving tackle, right? So those are the little things in a game that I look up and say, hey, that wasn't a bad play call. That wasn't a bad offensive series. We didn't make the plays, the big plays to win on that particular drive or the game. So you go there, it's midway through the 3rd quarter. It's a different ball game.
All right, check this out, Doug. To your credit, and like I say, I can't. One thing about this show, one thing about this website, we're gonna be honest, right? But we're not gonna be unfair. So, everyone says, do y'all bash A&T? Or y'all? No, we give our honest assessment, but I'm not going to not say something positive and just only look at the negative. That would be unfair. So let me show you something to where when people talk about play calls and schemes, that we can't really say that Barnett, was, it was all his fault. Because check this out. This is 2 plays. It's the same play, 2 different years, and 2 different results. Check this out.
All night allowed by the CSU defense. Under center, quick screen over to the left side, and he is in. Quickly finding Elijah Bell for the 2-point
tunnel screen at the goal line.
3rd down. Remember, they can get a 1st down on the 3. A quick throw over the head of the intended receiver, Leslie, and now it's 4th down.
It's the same as that. I'm gonna do it one more time. This is for the people at home. I want you to see. It's not like Barnett has hit amnesia and he don't know how to call a good game plan again. Sometimes things just don't work out. You have evidence that it worked in the past. It's a sound play. You got the numbers. You got the mismatch. It's just 2019. The throw was on the money. 2022, it was a little bit high.
All night allowed by the CSU defense. Under center, quick screen over to the left side, and he is in. Quickly finding Elijah Bell for the 2-point conversion. We've got a tie ball game.
3rd down. Remember, they can get a 1st down on the 3. A quick throw over the head of the intended receiver, Leslie, and now it's 4th down.
So when people talk about Blue Death is negative and this and that, there you go. I'm showing you that Barnett, to his credit, that was a good play call. It didn't.
Patriots, Andy Amendola, Julian Edelman sneak play back in. They used that play to get 2 against the Atlanta Falcons back in that Super Bowl. Man, it's a money play.
It's a money play. It's a sound play. And just didn't work out. Okay, so real quick, this is my quick football tutorial, and this is my unsolicited advice to Zach Yeager. I watched this film. I think I detected a flaw in his mechanics. All right. If you guys notice, a lot of times on his deep balls, the ball would tend to drift to the right, right? It would, like he would throw a deep, like a fly route on the sideline, and it would end up out of bounds, right? And some of the balls came out of his hands a little funny, and even on that play, it looks like it's almost I said wounded duck, but just the spiral, right? It's just a little bit off. It's more often on the deep passes. What's happening? And I'm gonna tell you why it's happening. Okay, this nose, right? This you see this X right here. Wherever this thing is lined up is where the ball's going, right? And so ideally, as a quarterback, you know, you don't throw a spiral with like that. You throw a spiral with this index finger. This I'm trying to show you. This finger right here, it rubs off the ball, and that's what creates the spinning motion. All right. Make a long story short, it's almost like throwing a dart at a dart board, right? You want to keep a firm wrist. And what's happening is Jaeger, his wrist is loose and it's causing variation. So sometimes it's straight, it's a spiral, right? Because you don't spin with your wrist, you spin with your finger. And sometimes the ball, his wrist is like that. And when it's like that, that's when the ball tends to drift off, right? The point the ball tends to go off his mark, right? So what he needs to do is, it's terrible, I can't do it on my own, but he needs to lock his wrist. You want to lock your wrist, and that will eliminate the variance in the motion. You don't want to have a loose, like a little swindle wrist. You want to have a locked wrist. And if he calls me, I can explain to him better. But that's the reason why some, like I said on Twitter, 1 out of 5 balls that he's throwing ends up being like a wounded duck, because it's coming out of his hands differently. His wrist is moving differently every time. There's no consistency. And if as a quarterback, it's going to affect your confidence, because you don't know if this is going to be the good one. Is this going to be the 4 good? It's like Russian roulette. Is this going to be the 4 good ones, or is this going to be the 1 bad one, right? And you're going to hesitate, and you're not going to have as much confidence. You got to have that firm wrist, just like that, and not let it move, because he's letting his deep balls move. You see a lot of times, we talk about people coach Pop Warner. You see a lot of times with Pop Warner quarterbacks, because their wrist is not strong. So when the ball's in their hands, it's causing them to do like that. And so they'll throw it in the nose of the ball with his tilt. And I looked at the film. That's the reason why he's throwing some of these wobblers and these balls that are, especially the deep balls, they're going off target and they're ending up out of bounds. It's a mechanic thing that he can fix. If Coach Barnett, you watching this, Coach, quarterback mechanics, you can correct this, but it's all about that wrist. And what I can do it this way. You want to lock this wrist. You see these lines in my hand? You want to see these lines. You want to lock it back, bring it back to you. That will keep that wrist firm on the whole motion, and you won't have any variance in your wrist. That might be.
Could you I'll take a different approach. I'll say, again, the kid only has so much experience, and I'm pretty sure, to my knowledge, other than him playing in the Minnesota State Championship games, which was years ago, I don't know the last time he's played in an NFL stadium, right? So the depth perception is a little different in Aggie practice field, right? It's like going in an NBA arena and trying to shoot 3-pointers versus shooting in your friendly high school gym or your YMCA, right? The depth perception is a little different. Adrenaline, right? He's playing in a pretty good team that can put a little more juice on the ball. It's just like playing golf or bowling, anything else. A little bit extra juice can throw you off a little bit.
But mechanics, though, the thing about mechanics is you got to perfect them so there won't be any external changes. I mean, the juice, the depth perception. If you have muscle memory, it doesn't affect that.
Mechanics wasn't the issue. Some guys, I don't know how big his hands are. I don't know how tight of a spiral he typically throws them deep. But those might have been the way he throws deep balls all his life. And of course, there's always room to improve. But he's still a young kid. His arm will get stronger, and he'll adjust to what the tempo and what the pace of a college game looks like. And it takes experience, man. We talked about Jalen Fowler struggling to keep the ball down at times in the Furman game, right? The first game of the season. It is the first game of the season. Timing, all that stuff, it looks a lot different when you're not. We talk about what it's like throwing off a crown. That's a flat field out there.
Yeah, that's true.
So those little nuances make a difference in terms of connecting. I know the practice field isn't flat at A&T. It slopes like 29, like straight from the softball field. It's got a slope to it. So our game field has a crown in it. So how many reps did he get? Central gets plenty of reps on a flat turf field. Their home game stadium is a flat turf field, and you'd be surprised how much a difference it makes. We had issues on. We thought we had issues last year on Furman's surface, right? I remember guys complaining that the guys were sliding around. They didn't have a good grip or good footing.
Hey, did you see Yeager slip on like 2-3 runs?
Work footing. There's not a field that we have that we can go practice on. The field at
Smith
High School is not the same type of turf or same type of surface.
Okay.
If you go practice film from those practices out there, we were slipping out there. So
yeah.
That needless to say, we're built for the turf at Aggie Stadium. Typically, we tend to have a little bit better footing in our own field, but those things make a difference, man. And first game of the season, there's not a lot of room. That spotlight's on you and that microscope's on you, and those things will show up. But as we go back and look at film and go through the clips and the snaps, and don't just watch it one time, go back and watch each play 3 or 4 times and try to get some different angles and watch each player, and you'll see that it wasn't 11 guys making mistakes out there at times, or it wasn't 11 guys holding or getting a personal foul. Sometimes it comes down to 1 or 2 guys in about 6 plays, right? And you can easily pull out 6 plays in this ball game, because that's what we were always preaching. It doesn't come down to 1 play, but it may come down to about 6 plays in every game that can or do or don't make the difference in the ball game. So if you want to name 6, you got to name 1 as the block punt for sure. And that's when it stands out. But there's 1 or 2 big plays in there that I spoke of that were big plays for them, that extended drives, the wheel route up the sideline. Like I said, we were in good position at linebacker, and they ran 2 receivers across Jacob's face, and Jacob had to go underneath the blockers or the screen guys and then try to catch up with the running back. And he called him and tackled him, not before the guy made an outstanding over-the-shoulder catch.
Right.
As a running, and that's the Joe's thing. That's not just a great play, great call. It's a good call and a hell of a play by that guy, a running back, to make that catch. So when I talk about it comes in players on the field, Central might not have had that guy that could make that play last year. We know Jacob's a talented kid. That's a tough play for any linebacker to make. If he goes over the top, then he still may be out of position. So,
I thought Jacob had a quiet game, seemed somewhat, but he was impactful. Like I watched that film and I was like, okay, there he is. I think everybody saw King, with his splash plays, but I think Jacob was the leading tackler again. I gotta look at the stats, but
yeah, he was.
He was most.
I think he had 13.
13 tackles, and King had 11, and Prunty, this is weird,
had 8.
Prunty had 8. So I don't know if I want my corner making that many tackles.
Let me go ahead and say this now. KP is the real deal.
Yeah, he's good. He's aggressive as hell.
He's as good as advertised.
I understand. He's even better than that, because what I like,
okay.
I mean, he sticks his nose in there.
Yeah.
When the play came his way, there were times when he could have elected not to get in on the tackle, right? Like the tackle was almost being made, and he stood in front of it and made a tackle too. But definitely, we saw him stick his nose in there when he was playing kind of in the middle of the ball field. But I just watched him all day. I hadn't had a lot of chance to watch him play, but I watched his technique, watched him get after it. I watched him coach other guys up, have conversations with his teammates. Like, he's one of those guys that he gets it, and I hope it continues to rub off on guys. But I tell you what, man, there were some things we were unhappy about, or as football fans and Aggie fans, we're definitely unhappy about. But as I say, there were some small things that I was pleased to see, and I wrote them down before the game of things I didn't want to see, and one of them was pointing the finger and bickering at each other. Like, I did that, right? I didn't see a lot of that, and those are the things if we can maintain that stuff going forward, not pointing the finger when things get bad or wanting to show out, because the stands are right there on the field, right? And we said Furman last year, we heard some guys getting after each other, and we heard coaches getting after each other.
Yeah,
there was none of that down there. There was more encouragement and more, hey guys, we got to get it next time.
Coach Washington at the end of the post-game press conference, he made some people thought it was an interesting statement. He said we got to continue to love each other, right? And a lot of people were kind of confused by that. And what he's saying exactly what you're saying. Yeah. We got to circle the wagon, rally around each other. Don't point the finger. Don't start going to separate camps now. We're all in this still right now.
And that'll be my echo. That'll be my message to the guys too, man. Like, you rally around you guys. You're playing for your brother. It's a long season. A lot of good things that can happen. But the bad stuff happens when you start pointing the finger, when you stop encouraging teammates, right? Yeah. There's some other little things that we can do, not to bring attention to ourselves, man. One of the things, and it's coming from a guy who was a part of a losing season, who was able to turn it around with a team, and it was all due to discipline. Like, I was on a team that lacked discipline, and Coach Hayes last year But we had plenty of talent, and we knew we had talent. And so when the new staff came in, and they were basically brought in to harp on discipline and trying to change the culture, they implemented a few things that kind of changed the way that I thought about football and the way that our team thought about football. And we're gonna talk about some of those things throughout the year. But if we can see some of those things take place, no walking on the field, right? No walking when you're in between the lines, whether it's practice or football. The football game. We're not walking anywhere. On and off, jogging on and off the field. Those are the things you see not just good teams do, but great teams do. Celebrate teammates. Don't do anything to bring attention to yourself. I know we got the names on the back of the jersey. I never forget the speech we got. We almost lost to Central in, I guess it was 03, or we kicked the game on the field goal 04. And
Capital City Miracle.
That was the year we had the names on the jerseys for the first time, and we got the new buses, right? And so we got on the bus, and I know what Coach said. First thing he said, I know what it is. It's them damn buses. It's them names on the jersey. Y'all worried about the names on the jersey. And so that's really stuck with us because we were excited to have the names on the jersey, right? But it brings attention to the individual and not the team, right? So I didn't want to see anybody yesterday doing the old pointing to the name on the back of the jersey or showing it off so that, like, we know who you are. We know your number, right? So when you do those things, if I'm making a sack and I'm running out away from my teammates so they can see me celebrate and beat my chest, I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm supposed to be running back to celebrate with my teammates. And you watch place when you celebrate with your teammates. For one, if you make a play, that's what you're supposed to do, right? That's why you're on the field play. So why am I celebrating something that I'm supposed to do?
You're right.
We were told, you make a play, you get up, hand the ball to the referee. Watch the culture of your football team change when you do those things right. When you run around everywhere, when you don't allow loafing or lacking or slacking from a team perspective, that's when the accountability takes in. It spreads to everything else, right? Because if you're beating your chest, or if you're trying to highlight yourself, you're trying to get on TV so that the camera picks you up, that's selfish, right? There's no other definition of it but being selfish. So we had a thing was like, I'm not going to be selfish. If I see you as a teammate, hey, man, you're being selfish. Our curfew is this time, or, man, you out here talking to whoever, and they put it out on us. That's selfish that you took the liberty to say, man, this is why we lost. No, we keeping our stuff in-house. We loving on each other, and we're going to hold each other accountable, right?
That's what he meant. Yeah, that's what he meant.
That is the biggest part, man. And not saying that we didn't do that. I saw us hustle more than I've seen us hustle, and I saw us give great effort yesterday. There were times when we questioned the effort, like, dude, do you want to play football and enjoy this? And I saw guys point the finger. We saw guys fighting after the game. Like, we didn't have that to my knowledge, and those are small baby steps to improvement when we talk about improving the discipline. It's not just penalties, because it's easy to say don't get a penalty, but I'm a football player. I'm coached to go destroy that guy as fast as I can on the other side of the ball. It's hard to jump. But if I know there's a deterrent, if I know that my teammates are going to feel like I let them down when I walk back to that sideline, if I know that I got to roll that football field and that hill on Sundays for a personal foul, whether it was a good call or a bad call, right? The penalty for making a mistake has to be severe enough that I don't want to do that again, or I just don't want to let my team down again, right? Because I remember times when, hey, I got a personal foul, man. I was talking junk to the ref, but it wasn't me. It was him, coach. Well, they called it on you, so you got to pay the price, right? Or if my teammate knew it was him, coach, it was really me. All right, now both of us got to roll because they called him, but it was really you.
Yeah.
Those are the things that build character amongst the team and sets that tone where, yo, this is unacceptable. And if this happens, I got to pay a mean price.
And Doug, you got to think last year, Fowler said, like, when coming back from Kennesaw, the energy on that team was bad. He said it. I mean, Jalen Fowler said in an interview, he said the energy on that team was bad. So Craig, real quick, let's go ahead and put a bow on this. It's almost 3 hours. Real, Troy, you got anything else you want to chime in? Any updates or things? Stuff?
Well, I got like 4 things. First thing,
all right.
I think it's ludicrous for someone. And Marching Brand 69 and I've had conversations about this, but it's ludicrous for somebody to leave a football game at halftime down 8. Come on, man. Why are we giving up on our kids like that? And I said this to people in the stands. Y'all, the game is not over. I know you're frustrated, but the ebb and flow of football games happens all over the place. I didn't think that game was really over until about 2 minutes left.
a rivalry game at that too. You know, we've seen
Right.
crazy ways.
And where you going? The traffic, you're gonna be stuck in traffic
You're
for
gonna
another
be
hour.
in traffic anyway.
So where you going? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Then Doug, I think something's gonna bite us in the butt. And that is the fact that we don't have a flat turf field because we go to other folks' fields a lot. And so we are trying to make the adjustment on their field. And we see us slipping because we're not used to it. We see the depth perception affecting us, it seems, because we're not on those kinds of fields. And frankly, most other fields that are out there now are those kinds of fields. So, man, it just comes to bite us in the butt. And let me also say two more things, and I'll be done. I understand that Florida A&M petitioned the NCAA to get some of their kids back qualified from this issue that Damian said of them being told or taking the wrong classes. And what they said apparently is it wasn't the kids' fault. And so why are they penalizing the kids for this? And so they got some kind of waiver or something like that. So I don't know if A&T will try to do that or not.
A&T, that means you're going to have a sacrificial lamb in that damn Moore gym. Pick somebody. Right. I don't care who. Throw them under the bus. Because I want the milkman and I want Porsche back.
Uh-huh.
And I want them back expeditiously.
Yeah. Then the last thing is I get you, Doug. Yeah, we got some variety in our offense, but I think we need more of it. I mean, they can do some more window dressing movement. They can do some more. I think what do you call them? Draw plays. They can do more. Like they used to run this thing with Tariq, where it would look like they were going one way and they would hand it off the other way. More screens with the running backs.
And Troy, the thing is, okay, you're naming stuff that's already been done. So we have it. We do. I mean, this is stuff that Barnett has called before. It's just that I don't know. It's just the rhythm or something. We don't call it we don't go to it at the right times. Like we'll do it once a year. We did one trick play last year. It was a wide receiver toss or something like that.
And those things I'm saying aren't even really trick plays. They're just more variety for defenses to deal with. And, you know, man, in the middle of the field, oh my gosh, our tight ends, those slants. I'm amazed at why we don't do them. And here's another thing.
Nick Dobson, hold on, let me cut you off. Nick Dobson, I'll hark back to this, Craig. I'll go back to this, Doug. He made maybe the catch of the year last year against South Carolina State. One-handed Odell Beckham Jr. behind the back touchdown, and we thought we had learned our lesson. We gotta get this ball to this guy. He's a playmaker. He's not just a regular stiff tight end. He's a difference maker, and he gets one target on a drag on a tight end.
Dipping dunk, dipping pass out in the flats.
You got targets, man, more than that.
Yeah, and then the last thing I'll say is we got a dual threat quarterback, and I think we all agree that he really is a dual threat, as opposed to Jalen, who we found out ain't quite there. Man, why not the 5 wides with a dual threat? I know you want to have a running back block
and do draw, right? And do QB draw, right?
Yes.
Put pressure on the defense to have to either pick your poison. Either you're going to keep somebody, a spy on the quarterback, or you're going to cover these 5 wide receivers. But that's my whole point. We're not making the defense uncomfortable mentally. We're not putting them in the positions where they got to choose. We're not running flood routes where the safety has got to pick somebody and he's going to be wrong somewhere else. All we're doing is saying, I'm better than you, and I'm gonna prove it. And it's beneath me to do any type of subterfuge, any type of diversion, distraction. I'm just going to go straight through you because I'm better, and that's hubris.
And we got 7 or 8 excellent wide receivers. That sometimes it's hard to choose who should be on the field or not.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta go. My battery's about to die. Thank you all for letting me come on.
We didn't. Before we go, another thing, Craig.
Yeah.
I don't think we didn't give up much pressure offensive line and passing downs. Did we give up how many sacks? Did we give up any sacks?
None.
None. I think we had some hurries. We had some hurries, but no sacks.
But none that were close enough to cause any sack fumbles or anything.
Right.
No,
Like,
no,
man,
the offensive line did a great job of pass protection.
yeah,
Yeager had time. He had time to find people.
hit back, they wasn't getting pressure. So kudos to the offensive line in that regard. That it wasn't a situation where we felt like we were getting dominated up front. So those are old boxes that we like to check. As we go down the list, man, how do we play in these particular areas? But we'll see, man. That is a tough ball game. And you're talking to somebody who lost to Central twice and lost to him. I was helping out coaching. That chip is something that you just can't manufacture. And I don't care what we do as a team. There's been times when we've had everything on the line for this game. Going back to Tariq's, I think junior year, or was it his senior year? Senior. When we had everything and all the bullets in the gun. You look at the game when we were out of quarterback. The year that Elijah Bell's down to Central and they whooped on us real bad. That's probably the last time that we got kind of handled by them. But the talent gap isn't as big. When they got some guys.
Is a rivalry back now? Does this restart the rivalry?
And it's just that we were able to take advantage of it. But it's always going to be a rivalry, and that's why the game is scary, and that's why you guys had those nervous feelings, and we all had those. Because just not because we didn't think we could play with them, just because we hate losing to them. All right, it ain't because we don't respect them and we don't think they belong on the field with us at times. It's just that we hate losing to them. Right? They're a quality program at times and produce some good coaches and some good players. So this was the year they got us. Damn, they hadn't got us in 6 years, so they lucked up and got one. But I guarantee you, next time we go back down to Charlotte, Mayo 27, it's gonna be a different look. I guarantee we'll be in a different position by that time.
All right, so Craig, get the last word, man. We've been here almost 3 hours. Let's go ahead and put a bow on this bad boy.
Well, yesterday's behind us. It's in the review mirror. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. It's just go back, try to correct a lot of the shortcomings that we had. This team is going to have to look. I agree with Coach Washington that they'll have to look internally and see exactly, what who needs to do what, whether it be coaching, and I will say it, and I've supported Coach Washington, but I'll truthfully say this, and I wouldn't mind telling him to his face. He got abused yesterday on the X's and O's front. We got beat. We got straight up beat.
Yeah.
And as far as Zach Yeager is concerned, first caught start, not bad. Not great, but certainly not bad. Actually, I think he played better than I had anticipated.
So look, I think there was some stats here. Let me see. He had let me look at this real quick. He had 275 yards passing, which I think was a record freshman.
Yeah, freshman record.
He did something. Freshman record. That, and like I say, you ideally don't want to put your redshirt freshman quarterback in that position that he has to throw that much. But you know what I can say, Craig? The moment. Oh, you all right? You're fighting ninjas out here. But we're good, Craig.
No.
But the whole thing is, I don't think the moment was too big for him. I think that he didn't make every play that he wanted to make, but he wanted to be there. He wasn't looking for cover. He wanted to be out there.
Right. The thing I saw out of Yeager was the kid has great recognition skills. Now he's got to get better. Yeah. He's going to have to get better as far as as far as not getting overly excited, because I think a lot of those balls that were selling on him was that his eyes got big.
Yeah.
Especially the one where we're going to throw the inside screen down inside the 5-yard line. That was a short touchdown, and I think he rushed it and
he could have thrown it underhanded. He could have thrown it underhanded. We was
yeah.
And
I think it was the case of he's that being that first game, but I can tell you this: he's got a hell of a lot of talent. That kid has the potential to be one of the truly great quarterbacks here. If he just works on playing smart.
Okay, question.
He'll be fine.
What is the status of the quarterback competition? Are we just going to? Is it still open? Are we still trying to do 2 or maybe 3?
I think you'll see. I think you'll see 2 at North Dakota State. I think Fowler will get in because it is North Dakota State.
Yeah, it might get out of hand.
And I think you probably gonna need to have somebody. You probably gonna need to have both of those quarterbacks available anyway simply from the fact that that's a truly physical football team. And my biggest concern with that is that we don't go up there and get a whole bunch of people hurt because they're better than most FBS teams that I've seen.
My second question is, Coach Washington made a statement at the post-game press conference where he said that he, I guess, kind of got frustrated. He took back the play calling in the second half.
Yeah.
And so I guess Willis was calling plays, or either Howard or Willis was calling plays to start the game, the defensive plays, and Coach Washington wasn't happy with how things were going. He took it back.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, you think Coach Washington says, I know I tried to be the good, just a head coach only, but you think he takes his thing back and he starts running the defense full time?
I don't think he does that unless there's a repeat.
So whoever was calling plays, either was it Willis or Howard, they get one more chance.
They get another shot at it.
They get one more shot.
But I can guarantee you it was probably not a pleasant experience when the coaches met. After that game.
Oh, I bet
I would not want to be in that room and be one of those assistant coaches.
Doug, you coach. What do y'all do? Do y'all meet on Sunday or y'all take Sunday off? How do y'all do after the game?
Well, now they can get the film chopped up on the way home, but the guys get the film crew get the film ready. Coaches will probably take a peek at it. I don't know. Some guys probably looked at it last night, but they definitely meet Sunday. Sunday's the meeting day. Monday's the off day typically.
Yeah, for the coach, so they'll be meeting. They'll
get off day for the coaches. It's off day for the players. Don't have practice on.
Right. Oh, and so there's a press conference tomorrow noon.
Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be in Moore Gym, and so I'll head out there.
Oh, okay,
but it's not open to the public. I don't think they're doing like the $5.
Right.
So I think this might just be just regular media.
Straight up. Yeah.
But I plan on going there, and I'm trying to ask all the tough questions. And to his credit, Coach Washington don't run from nothing. He's a man of principle, a man of honor. He stands there. He'll tell you straightforward. This is what he feels, and I'll ask him every question that I can think of, and I'm sure he'll have a candid, sincere answer. We'll see. But press conference tomorrow at 12, and there'll probably be some local media people there, and they'll probably ask a whole bunch of softball questions about North Dakota State. But I'll on behalf of Aggie Nation, I'll do my best to get us some meat in that press conference, some real questions. But let's get out of here. It's been past 3 hours. Jeez. So thank everybody for once again joining us on short notice. This is not Inside the Valley. This is a special episode of Blue Death After Dark. And this is kind of therapeutic because I think everybody at Aggie Nation need to release and just talk about our feelings, lay on the couch, and find out what was hurting us. And this is, getting together and just saying, man, this how did this happen? I think we kind of got a little bit of not answers, but we kind of got a little bit of resolution. Maybe I think
therapy, good therapy.
I think we can start to put this behind us, move forward. We got a long season, guys. This is only week 1.
We're gonna be okay.
We'll find out because I think if we can get through this gauntlet these next 2 weeks, and we can still keep that Aggie pride and that focus, we have a chance to still have a good season. These next 2 weeks are gonna be very challenging.
Yeah.
But anything else, Doug? You good? So you feeling better? Are you 100%, 89%, 93%? Where you at?
I feel better. I'm ready to go. It's going, like I said, it's a long season.
Yeah.
Time, baby. We made it through. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
Through, so I'm glad to be back, guys. The truth of the matter is I wasn't there last week because the appearance fee were offering. It just wasn't enough, man.
I know. Hey, I told you I'm about to make a joke. I said Doug is holding out. He's in some negotiations for a contract renewal, but we're gonna work that out. So for the next time we do Blue Death in the City, we will guarantee we're gonna have Doug Brown present, because I know a lot of the fans came out only for him.
Hey,
and,
we want to have one breaking announcement. For the first time ever, we now shout out to Marcus Ledbetter, our new operations coordinator, whatever title.
Senior Vice President of Corporate Development.
Make sure he knows who is no longer on the club list. We have officially one guest that is no longer invited to pick scores or to say anything related to Aggie football in the Aggie Eagle Classic. Hopefully they know who they are, but if not, Barry, you're done. All right. Barry, you picking scores.
Oh man. And Barry actually picked Central. So he was right on the money.
Barry picked Central by 2 touchdowns. Remember? So
Jeez,
damn.
You're done, Barry.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a rap. You have to be a silent partner from now on. All right, guys. So for Doug Brown, the president, Craig Turner, I am Samaj Marsh. Thank you so much for joining us on Blue Death After Dark, the aftermath of the Aggie Eagle Classic. Oh boy, we're still alive. We're still standing. Just a little bit bruised, but we'll be better. And until next time, guys. Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride.
Peace.